Hello, hello.
Yo, 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 what's up?
Not a lot, man. How you doing this morning?
I am doing great, doing good. Getting my voice back. The voice box is checking back in. So,
The
uh,
larynx is ringing.
not having my voice has, apparently I talk so much that I even have to still talk with a pen and paper in my hand. It's like I got to get the words out. So I've been writing, but,
Just hold
um,
it up to the screen. I'll try my best to read it.
oh God, yeah, we'll get there. I'm doing a slasher movie just in case anybody's interested. I'm talking about it, so we'll see.
Slash
As
and cast and stick a fire up your ass.
Hey Ben, who are the best five rappers of all time?
uh, wow, you really put me on the spot there,
I got
CJ.
it, dude.
I'm.
Dylan. He spits hot fire, man.
I like mystical a lot.
Oh God, I love Mystical. Have you
Yeah,
ever seen the
man. Have
movie? What's up? Have you
have
seen I
you
Got the Hookup?
good dog? No, I don't think I have. No.
Master P movie.
Ooh,
He's got them
man.
all. He's got all the what's it called, the soldiers in his movie, and he's got Mystical in it. And Mystical's character, he hits a one-a-gon. It's called This is a giant blunt. You hit that shit once, your ass is gone.
Hell
What a
yeah,
god.
brother. Bring it
Basically,
on over.
that's pretty cool. That's a little view askew movie in the rap from rap to movie cinema. I appreciate that. Well, hello everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to Side by Side Movies podcast. Where Ben. I think for voice purposes, you should do the description of the show.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Side by Side Movie Podcast here with Ben Garrett and CJ Robles. I'm CJ Robles, and over here to my
Oh,
left or right or ways that's going to be Ben Garrett since he can't talk today. No, actually, it's flipped around. I'm Ben Garrett. That's CJ Robles over there, over over, over there.
yeah. Remember, it's
I can't.
opposite. It's
No,
weird.
I can't remember. That's why I screw it up every time. Um, no, but this is a side by side movie podcast. What we're here to do is we're taking two movies that we picked from the previous week, and we are just comparing them, discussing them, going over trivia about them, and then at the very end we rate them. And we have a very interesting or different rating system than most. We have a 1 through 13 scale instead of that normal 1 through 10, and the reason being there is, you know, I explained this, I think, to maybe CJ or somebody else recently. The difference between, 10 and an 11, 12, 13 is, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Okay. It's just that little bit extra. Okay. So 11, 12, 13s are going to be reserved for those movies that, at least for us, for the most part, have that nostalgia feel, can really evoke emotion out of us, or we really kind of shaped our views about movies. Um, and that 13 we kind of reserve for movies that we would recommend for anybody to watch, that this person needs to see this movie. Um, and 11, 12s are going to be, man, those movies were great. They definitely deserve to be above 10, but they're not quite 13s, you know? So that is the description of what we're doing here on Side by Side Movie Podcast. We've been Garrett and CJ Robles. I'm just going to say the full name every time. Um, no, but over here on Side by Side, we been doing this for about a year now, just crazy, and we got to Die Hard and Dogma. All right, man, Die Hard, Dogma, and what's really crazy on how we got here too is we had Alan Rickman as a he was in two of the movies that we watched last week, and you know, here at Side by Side we really do enjoy Alan Rickman quite a bit. He's just a great actor, and we were gonna go with Alan Rickman again, and CJ said last week he was like, "Hey, do you want to? I think I know where we need to go." And I was like, "I think we do too." And he already had the little thumbnail pulled up, and I said Die Hard and Dogma, and he just clicked on it, man, and it was good to go. Like I said, we're just on the same page, for a good chunk of things. Every once in a while, we'll have disagreements. And that's the thing about. I mean, these podcasts are close to 2.5 hours long, but sometimes we go back and forth, and we try to figure out what the other one's talking about, And we actually want to have a conversation and figure out, you know, why do you think this way? What's no, I don't think that happened. And then you go back and then you try to understand the reasoning of the other person, and it kind of helps a whole lot. CJ, how am I doing over here with
You're
your
doing
voice?
great, buddy. You're doing great, man. I'll
You,
say, what's up?
oh no,
Uh,
you say it for a second.
no,
Go
you're
for
doing good. You're doing perfect, man. Because this is our Die Hard Dogma episode, and I'll say that we get a different perspective. It's a conversation, open conversation with two buddies. I will say that the last episode, I was making the thumbnail as we were talking, so I was being a little rude. But when I came back and I showed it, Ben called it like he already knew the
it.
way he did it too. And so it just shows me that's something I would like to let people know. We're also improv actors, and when Ben and I share the stage, we just think we call this thing mind melt. We're on the same level. It's insane because we're in two different cities, and like we're still able to do it.
Yeah,
That's like I always thought it was like a presence in a room thing. Apparently, you could just do it as long as you're spending the same amount of time. Which is I get is you okay? What are you choking on? Sorry, I got the kiddo right in front of
no,
me.
no, no.
Here he
You,
comes. Hold on,
hey,
I'm gonna have to switch to the back because he's not properly dressed. So hold on, where you at? He's not
you go
properly.
for it, man. Well, hey, do you want me to? I'll just go ahead and do the description of these movies real quick.
Please, please.
For Die Hard, it was made in 1988, rated R. It's going to be 2 hours and
No, it's
12
good.
minutes. An NYPD officer tries to save his wife and several others taken hostage by German terrorists during a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles. We have director John McTiernan, and writers are going to be Roderick Thorpe, based on the novel by, and then the screenplay is by Jeb Stewart and Stephen E. DeSosa. All right, so that's going to be Die Hard. And so our other movie that we have this week is going to be Dogma. And Dogma was made in 1999. It's going to be rated R. And if my man, let's see here. Let's see how long Dogma is. If I can get this to work, let's see. Ah, yeah, like I said, Dogma, 1999, rated R, 2 hours and 10 minutes. And it's going to be an abortion clinic worker with a special heritage is called upon to save the existence of humanity from being negated by two renegade angels trying to exploit a loophole and re enter heaven. It's going to be written and directed by Kevin Smith. And yeah, so those are the two movies we have this week. Um, yeah.
Cool, you did it. Thank you, appreciate it. Someone's just running around and they're trying to, so I had to. Okay, I don't want it to come out on the computer, but yes, we're here, and I want to say thank you, Ben. This is our fourth Kevin Smith movie. We did Clerks 2. We've done Mallrats, and now we're doing Dogma.
Yeah.
We're staying in the viewer's queue. Kind of, we're a little, we're getting a little. I think we're just missing Chasing Amy in between all
Chase
this.
from the early 90s. And
Yeah,
crazy enough, man, we keep on coming up on these 1999 movies.
class of
And
'99.
I'm telling you, like it's far and few in between that we have a 1999 movie that isn't just awesome.
Yeah.
It was a really an interesting year for movies. Now I think once you kind of brought that up, it was a little bit more relevant once we started going through these, because I mean at
Yeah,
least five
the
or six
class.
1999 movies that we've had on here so far.
So check this out. You and I will eventually maybe get to Chasing Amy, but Mona and I on rewatch right now, we already did Chasing Amy.
Ooh,
So I'm kind of seriously just hanging out in the views queue.
yeah.
It's a
Well, it's a good place to be because man, it's there's a lot of good content, a lot of good thought provoking movies that you have there. I mean, Dogma. I mean, look at that. It really dives deep into Catholicism. It dives deep into religion. A lot of I haven't looked up any of like the shit demon or anything like that. But it sounds so believable that I could be like, okay, I could believe that that's going on, and if that very well could be a thing, or who knows, man. And that's the other thing too is like, I wonder, I wonder how the Catholic Church took this. I mean, at least they weren't saying they were raping little boys. So that's one good thing. Uh, you know, they didn't bring
uh,
that up.
what do you call it? Did you hear about Kevin Smith? He went and boycotted Dogma with the people that were with the white picket fences with the signs and everything. He went and boycotted it.
Really?
Yeah. There's a news clip of him. There's a news clip of Kevin Smith, and remember this is bigger Kevin Smith, and he's there with I want to say Scott Mosier, the producer, or
Yeah.
it's Brian Johnson or Scott Mosier. I can't remember one of those two because Brian Johnson he don't care either, and I mean none of those guys do. I think Ming Chen's the only one that cares, and he what do you call it? They go to the. I mean you can like make a movie about this. They show up to the screening of Dogma, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" They're like, "Yeah, Kevin, like this movie sucks. Yeah, give me a sign. Yeah, this movie sucks. Don't watch this movie. Don't." And it's him. He's the filmmaker, and he's like, "Don't watch this movie. It's his movie." See the old good old Kevin Smith, the old Kevin Smith, the old antics. The thing is about the class of '99. One, we're moving into the year 2000,
Yeah.
and then as we're moving in, like I feel like there's a certain time, there's a certain like fu. Now we're going into the 2000s, going into the future, and that old place,
Maybe maybe it was the fear. Maybe they were just getting all the movies they wanted to get done before 2000. Maybe they did think it was going to end.
Y2K.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this real quick about Die Hard. I'll tell you this much. When we got here because we're unraveling films. We're getting a different view of them. We're actually breaking them down. The way I watch movies now is completely different. Especially when I rewatch a movie, I look for something that I'm not looking for, and I get it. I usually get it every time. One thing I'll get with Die Hard is it's the whole Kevin Smith working with Bruce Willis in Cop Out. That was a bad experience for them, and they have bad blood now. And I'm looking at both these movies. And I'm like, we at one point we remember us mentioning like, hey, we keep them separated. We don't, we don't pick Kevin Smith's side or Bruce Willis' side. We enjoy the movies for what they are. That being, I'll keep that at the end. Never mind. That being said, I had a thought and I was gonna let it go. But that being said, Die Hard, I watch it a lot. I showed you last time I have the movies. I've been watching. I don't just watch Die Hard. I do 1, 2, and 3. I did one,
Yeah.
2, and 3 so much that I ignore the other ones that were made after that when he got older, Bruce Willis.
The fifth
But
one was yeah.
yeah,
Fourth
and
one
then,
I enjoyed. I really did. I'm
okay,
sorry.
okay, and I'll what do you call it? I'll talk about. I wanted to write my own die card spec script,
Hmm.
and oh my god, I didn't realize that it's. I was writing my ideas, I was getting it down, and then I saw an interview with Kevin Smith, and by him talking about, he's like, I love Die Hard, and I love Bruce Willis or whatever, and then he had the issue, and then it talks about how he wrote his own spec script, and I was like almost like mine.
Huh.
It was at a mall, Die Hard at a mall.
Interesting.
That's what I wrote. I was like, oh, parallel thinking. I also wrote it. I don't know if he wrote it between Y2K, but I was writing it like it was 1999,
Hmm.
and it was going into 2000, and they were going to use that glitch to take over the Mall of America, and
Interesting.
John McClane just happened to be there by accident. It wasn't like he was meant to be there. Like he just
He was
happened to.
taking his daughter or something to the.
Something like, or it'd be, but the movie would be shot in 1999. So I was writing
Yeah.
the animated version of it. So
Interesting.
I was writing the animated version because I technically you can still use the voice actors, but that's what got me. I was like, Die Hard's a great movie, hands down. Like just well shot, well made. This is an action
Well
movie.
told too. I mean, it tries to piece everything together for you. It tries to make it believable as much as possible. Like I can understand why people didn't like, Live Free or Die Hard because it really kind of takes you out there. A lot of the stunts that he does and a lot of the things that he gets away with are not, believable by any standards. But I mean, hell, you had to kind of ramp it up. You had Fast and Furious and everything going on at that
True, the
time.
competition.
The competition, and then look at where Fast and Furious is now, where they used to be
Nine.
believable. They were street racers, and now they're shooting cars into space and coming back. Yeah, it. I don't blame them at all. And like I said, I'm not gonna lie, man. I think the fourth Die Hard movie is the first one I ever watched.
That's also supposed to be Nightmare on Elm Street. That was I was introduced to the fourth one.
Yeah,
It's
and
kind of to your time frame.
I enjoyed the story. It was like all of America was in trouble. It was high stakes game. Like it had everything. It was a great action movie on its own. Like if it wasn't connected to Die Hard, it would still be a great action movie. And
Yeah.
I think that's probably what happened. It was like this there was this action movie that was sitting out there. It was like, we could bring Bruce Willis in, we could just slap Die Hard on it and sell it like cake, you know. Um, so
Well, you know what it
yeah,
was? Bruce Willis was he was a comedian actor at that point.
dude. Yes, I was looking that up. I was like, when was Die Hard like in his career? And it was like his first real kind of breakthrough role. Like, and even on IMDb, that's his top thing he's known for is Die Hard, of course. But I think that's just very interesting. That here's whenever you were mentioning that Kevin Smith Bruce Willis thing, what if we had Bruce Willis, young Bruce Willis, and Kevin Smith? I wonder how that would have worked out if there would have been such a dispute. Because sometimes you live in the limelight for so long, especially the '80s, early '90s. You're really
Yeah.
kind of on
Well,
the
you're burnt
coattails of
out
that.
too, man.
Yeah, man. So, and then you also have you would think at that point you're a respected actor. I mean, you haven't just done action movies your entire life. You've been in comedies. You've done comedies before. Bruce Willis in a whole nine yards. I mean, yeah, he's still kind of playing that kind of tough macho character, but that's what he's supposed to do in Cop Out. Like
Yeah, I
it's
think
I want to know. I want to know. And you're not gonna know, but I want to know what it was like on that. If it was, I mean, and Kevin Smith, I mean, he was no
oh,
slacker at that time either. I mean, he had some pretty hard hitting movies, and this was like Richard Linklater doing all his indie movies and then doing School of Rock, and that was supposed to be like the big Kevin Smith, like, Cop Out, Bruce Willis, Tracy Morgan, like Sean William Scott. This was supposed to be the movie.
yeah.
This was supposed to be the mainstream movie that, like, the real
But
mainstream.
if you wanna know what happened, just go Google Kevin Smith. He'll tell you. He tells you exactly what happens. So the main thing was this is where the big production meets indie world, and they
Mm,
clash
yeah,
because Bruce Willis. Imagine Bruce Willis on these huge sets where he's getting all his attention in the '80s, in the '90s, and then also 2000, and he's on the CJ Robles's set where his grandmother's cooking pots and this. It's like cooking for the
yeah,
catering, and it's like to get that independent feel. He probably didn't like that. He probably and this is back then where indie was still around, but so with Kevin Smith is the independent filmmaker, he like there's a quote I remember where he said, because this helped me out when I was younger, when I started not really giving a crap about like other people on my sets, because there's a thing between Kevin Smith, and there's an exchange between Kevin Smith and Bruce Willis where Bruce Willis knows like the sort of camera they're using and the angle, and then like the specifics.
yeah,
Kevin Smith is just like, yeah, let me change. Like they're talking about the shot, and then Bruce Willis is telling Kevin Smith about this, and then Kevin Smith says, well, I was planning on using the big lens, and then like Bruce Smith is like, which one, the 35, the 45? He goes, I don't know, the big one, and then Bruce Willis is like, and I'm butchering this story, so it's out there somewhere.
no, I get what you're
But
saying
but
though.
he goes, Kevin, you don't even know the name of the lenses. He goes, well, I'm making a movie. I don't need to know. It's like you have those interactions. Being around celebrities this past weekend that were out of this world, I can see me as a director being around that personality and then trying to make a movie, but having my vision and their vision click, and they're just gonna stay the same. That's got
Yeah,
to be tough. And imagine Kevin Smith being stuck sandwiched between a producer and Bruce Willis. You
mm,
have it's supposed to be the producer, the director, and then the actor in the hierarchy. But when the actors, goes above
yeah,
everything, and it's true. I think Bruce Willis just got older. I think his career at this point, and where we're at, I don't know what it is. I don't want. I don't. It's not even like Nick Cage. It's not even enjoyable. Like I don't know what it is. I love Bruce Willis's movies. If I met him and he was a dick to me, I would be okay with that. But
yeah.
what I've heard, the stories that I've heard of Bruce Willis, and the videos I've seen, you're right. I don't want to talk bad about Bruce. I think when he
No,
was younger and he had that youth, I think maybe that you're right. I think that you're absolutely right. A younger Bruce Willis with a more energetic Bruce Willis with a eager Kevin Smith. Oh, great movie. But the fact that we're getting maybe someone on the down and out and someone on the up and up.
yeah,
And I think that's what kind of you get clash. But the characters in Die Hard they all stick out to me now. The one thing I picked up on this is all the villains,
yeah,
all the villains. And one thing I watched this with a different point of view. Out of all the times, and I've seen this movie like 400 times, no joke. Out of all the times I've seen this movie, I never took the fact that John McClane is NYC, NYPD, blue, and everyone else is LAPD, and then you have the feds. You have, and you have the bad guys. I took it as all cops are all the same, all bad guys are the bad guys. But when you take the layer out, where you take out and you take away the describe what John McClane is, because he calls himself Roy after Roy Rogers, after he has that statement. And that's where you get the yippee ki. I've started getting more things about how you get, because this is an action movie layered in a drama.
Yeah, and kind of a comedy too.
Yes, and even a comedy. I like Argyle. This time, Argyle's character really stuck out to me because I was like, why is Argyle there? And then you realize, oh, he got stuck there, and then you realize he got stuck because he was being generous to John McClane. So
Yeah.
Argyle got stuck at the potty, and then that's another thing where when John McClane throws, because he's trying to get their attention and he can't get it, and then finally he's just like whatever, and he throws the body out, and it hits pal.
Yeah.
It hits his
Ow,
car.
pal.
Ow, pal. And he goes, welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah.
And then so Argyle is played by Devereaux White, and he was a kid, and he brought him back for the commercial, for the Die Hard commercial, the batteries, the car batteries. They brought him back, and then we have Sergeant Al Powell, played by Reginald Vell Johnson, which we know as Uncle Carl from Family Matters.
Family Matters, yeah.
And which I found out about Family Matters is I'm gonna put the screen on so we can finish. Where's it at? Where you go? Oh, wrong guy. Boom.
Hey.
CJ versus CJ. That was CJ Robles versus CJ Graham. One is 6'3", about 200 pounds full of muscle, about 3% fat, where the other one's about not 6'3", no muscle, and it's about 30% fat. So you see who won. As you can tell in that clip, we know who. I'm still standing here. I mean, I'm sitting, but I'm no. But what I noticed about the villains are just they had such a great persona. I mean, you get all their names, Carl. I always heard of, but I never paid attention because you get to see John McClane actually doing his job as a cop, and then he stays out of it because Al tells him, if you're a cop, you know either to lead, follow, or pray, which is like lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
And he learned to get the hell out of the way. He only intervenes is when all the cops start dying, and he doesn't like his people dying, so he blows up the building. And then the brothers, I felt so much. That's how you write brothers. You don't have to talk that. You just, everyone tells you they're brothers, and then you even see the younger brother, or I don't know which one it is. The younger brother's like trying to do his job, and here comes the older one with the chainsaw and just starts cutting everything up. Like, yay. Like, honestly, I think, and I have a theory. Do you think if John McClane doesn't kill the first guy in the stairs, let's say that guy, that the story changes? Because I think that he breaks his neck by accident, helps John McClane out. But I don't think it was supposed to go that way. Like in the reality of the movie, like he could have easily, like he was.
They both should have broken their necks.
No. What I'm saying is John McClane came out the victor, but when he goes, "I'm not going to shoot," and he comes in the corner and starts shooting, so he knows he's lying to him.
Yeah.
So I took a lot from this movie. There's a lot of layers. But
so you're saying like that first kill? Do you think that's what helped him continue killing?
Yes. That helped him.
So he was just like, well, fuck it. We already got one down.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't. I think
sorry, let me interrupt real quick. Not exactly like that, as in like, oh, these guys are terrorists. Because he even says, I looked at their cards and it said California on it, on their ID, and he's like, and these are real mates, so these guys are high. And he starts breaking them down like a cop. Things I never really picked up on before. I'm picking up now because I do side by side and rewatch right now. I'm really looking at it. Yeah. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing that kill, that it could have gone either way. That John McClane could have broke his neck and it would have been over. But the fact that it was the other guy, Hance, I think his name, he broke his neck. And so it could have gone either way. What I'm trying to say is it was fate. It could have been either John McClane breaks his neck or the terrorist. And it was the terrorist. And so we see the story through John McClane's point of view. But I feel like this is like a little fan theory that John McClane could have broke his neck and then they would have been over. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So, I do like that. I think that like you're talking like alternate universe, kind of like Robot Chicken kind of thing. Like,
if you want to go, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like they go and fall down the stairs and it just cuts. Like movie's over.
Oh, I forgot they did that.
No, I don't know, but that would.
Oh, you're talking about Robot. If I were to do it like Robot Chicken.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's like what kind of comes to mind is like that would be where you would do it. Is like, oh, you have this big fighting scene, and it's like, oh, they're both. Oh, you're dead. Like that. That would. I feel like that would be on Robot Chicken because it's kind of funny. And
you're right. You're right. Like, and he'd get up and be like, okay, John McClane's dead.
Yep, and then just go back to
proceed with plan.
And then probably, they could follow the rest of that. You know how they do, like they have
Yeah,
different
yeah,
segments,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, man, this I think it's funny how Argyle just is completely oblivious until like a good chunk of the movie's over.
Well,
Um
he's down in the parking lot, right?
yeah,
Partying.
man, he's just like he's bullshitting. He's having a good old time. He's like, hell, and this is his first time with limo. He's like, this is how it's gonna be every time. That his expectations of limo driving have to be like exceeded
Well,
because
he was a
John
taxi driver. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, but I'm saying like that's like me going from Domino's to Central Market. You know what I'm saying? Like your taxi driving's a totally different thing. Like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
Okay.
I mean
No, I got that.
at
Yeah, I understand
Domino's
that.
I get everybody. At Central Market it's a different class of people.
Ha
They're
ha ha.
you know they're coming in. They got money to spend. At Domino's, you got money. You're saving money sometimes. Like, oh, I'll get pizza. Let me just
So
save a
check
little.
this out. Look at my little brain. There's a character. He's a character. He's one of the villains, and his name is I caught him. It's not a repeat offender, but he might be down the line. His name's James. He gets blown up, and when they shoot the tank, John McClane blows him up. But
Uh-huh.
he's Vigo from Ghostbusters too. He's in
No
this movie.
way. I think I see
Yes,
him
dude.
right now. I
Yeah,
think he's like
the
going through.
ponytail.
Yeah,
He
Vigo.
yells the whole time.
Yeah.
He's Vigo, played by actor um, William von Homburg. Sorry to ruin that. My voice isn't back, but we know
No,
the
you're
butcher.
good. But
1940. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2004.
yeah.
Born 1940, born in 2004. But he did a movie called In the Mouth of Madness. Looks like a pretty cool movie poster. Die Hard, Ghostbusters 2, At Midnight, Cabaret. So he's in there. I saw him. I was like, oh. And let me just throw this out before I forget. We got a repeat offender, and I know you know him very well, Mr. Rick Ducommun. Remember him?
Rick.
He is the city worker. He's the guy.
Oh
In
yeah,
the,
yeah. He was in Scary Movie. Yeah, I do
yes,
know who you're
repeat
talking about.
offender. The
Yeah,
Burbs.
I was gonna mention him as
And I
well.
want to throw this out, and I should have what do you call it? I should have screenshot it, but I didn't do it. But there is an actor. I'm gonna look at him real quick. There's an actor that is in Die Hard, and he is the same actor in Die. I'm sorry, not the same actor, but he's also in Die Hard 3. But he dies, and he's got a talking role. He's one of the cops in Die Hard 3 that gets shot. I believe his name is Anthony Speck. Let me see if I can find him real quick. He comes out. He has a few lines in Die Hard. He's a cop. I'm sorry, I didn't upload the photo, but I'll show it to you later. But he's in this movie, and I caught it because like, isn't that the guy from Die Hard with Vengeance? And I screenshotted it, and I couldn't let it go. So I went and looked it up, and I did.
Dude,
I did find
I
him.
I didn't realize Theo was in Walker. He was in Walker Texas
Yes,
Ranger.
yes, Texas Walker Ranger. I was like, I know.
What? Texas Walker Ranger? Who the hell are you?
Yeah, he's the
Did you
sidekick.
hear yourself just now?
What did I say?
You said Texas Walker Ranger.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant
Walker Texas Ranger,
oh,
bro.
Ranger
Now,
Texas
if we wanted a
Walker.
couple sissies, we would have named them Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman, all right?
Oh my god.
That's right, Chip.
If we
No.
weren't a bunch of hootenannies, we would go a little different.
Yeah, if we were nanny hooting over here, it'd be
Yeah,
a different story.
it'd be a little different.
Let's see. Damn, Argyle looks old as hell in his IMDb page now. Good
Oh,
God.
you leave Argyle alone.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it's bad. He's gonna happen over the years.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah,
Look, wait till they see the 2-year anniversary of CJ and Ben. How we're gonna it's just
I'm
2
gonna be
years.
looking like death.
But I got this filter, but you can't afford it, so you can't put it on.
Okay,
I'm
so let's see. The actor Al Leong, dude, I thought he was gonna be a repeat offender, but he has such like a memorable face.
Who are you talking about? His name's Al.
The Al Leong, he was one of the terrorists. He was
Oh
the Asian
yes,
terrorist.
he comes out in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, dude, and he was also in
He's a
shit, what
he's
was
he's a side villain. He comes out in a
Bill
lot.
and
No,
Ted's. He was Genghis Khan.
yeah, Genghis Khan. He comes out in a lot of movies as a villain.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in
He was,
Little China.
yep.
Dude, look at that. Bill and Ted's Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Big Trouble. Yeah, dude, this is one of those character actors. So he is one of the he's one of the actors when I was younger. I mean, he's gonna be just keep saying it as a minority. It's like, oh, this guy's different. He sticks out. And
Yeah. It's
seeing
kind of
him
like
in those
Hector.
he's almost like Hector, but he's actually he. This is where the acting. Not playing. I'm talking Nas Neil, Noel. Um, but no. I think the fact that and by the way, we're gonna do something with that. We're gonna make the documentary called Hector, and but
We
like
have to.
when I see him, and there's a lot of character actors. I mean, Robert Davi's in this movie.
I know, dude. I was just looking. Is he not a repeat offender? I could have swore we've
Not
had him
yet,
before.
but I had him on episode number 1 with the Goonies.
Oh
Um,
yeah, okay. Because I knew he was in the Goonies. I knew we hadn't done that, but I was like, surely there was something else that.
so there's an actress. She's not a repeat offender here. I don't think so, not yet. She is the and the newscaster. She's the female, Mary Ellen Trainor. Unfortunately, she did pass away in 2015 at the age of 62.
Mm.
But she was the mother in Goonies, and she
Oh,
was the mother in Monster Squad.
well, I'll be.
And
And
Monster Squad is a Fred Decker, Shane Black movie, and Shane
Black,
Black and
we've
Nathan.
had. Yeah, I've had Shane Black on here before.
Yeah, so
And then R.I.P. Norm Macdonald as well.
I was gonna get to that, man. But dude,
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Well, you said 62, and I was like, man, he was just 61.
So check
Um,
this out. Since I was gone this weekend and I wasn't on my cell phone, I came back home and I didn't use my cell phone. I barely started getting on it yesterday. I barely started using it, and it was insane because I got a phone call from my cousin. One of my cousins always chicks in on me. I talk to him at least twice a week or something like that. I mean, small talk. And he called me and he goes, hey, I haven't talked to you in a minute. You doing okay? I go, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm just resting. I was exhausted. Like I literally, like I rode the wire. Like I rode the wave. Like I was exhausted. I needed to rest up. And he goes, so you haven't heard? You haven't been on social media? Then I go, I haven't been on social media. I go, I haven't been on the internet. I haven't been on my phone. So he goes, so that means you haven't been on social media. That means you haven't heard. And I go, what? He goes, Norm Macdonald died. I was like, no way. And I don't. We'll get to the end of the episode because we're definitely gonna have to do Norm for the next one. I'll just say it now. We're gonna do Dirty Work and Screwed because
okay.
we gotta do we gotta pay our homage to him. But
I
man,
and he will be a repeat offender when we do.
exactly, Billy Madison,
Yep.
and it's insane how like I didn't hear it only through the a mouth, and the information felt so much better than seeing it on a meme or seeing it online. Like I was like, it felt more pure to me. Like I don't know. I don't know Norm
You
Macdonald.
felt more connected to it. I
Yeah,
feel like I see that, and it's just like, oh damn, and then just move on.
but also too,
You
you
know?
always have the stupid Morgan Freeman ones that are fake, the stupid ones. So you always get annoyed by those. But this one was
Oh
like,
yeah, like whenever Chadwick Boseman died, dude. I
yes,
thought I thought it was like, oh, you got pwned, and then it actually went to the article, and I was like, what the fuck?
and I think that's why I got a little like emotional on that one. I made that flyer because I was like, nah, if he's, I want to represent. I don't want him to be like fake. This guy's too young, man, and he was had a bunch of great roles. And look at him, he's gone. That's messed up. But at least he
Yeah.
left us with great, memorable roles. Same thing when Bill Paxton passed. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, he's one of my favorite actors growing up, and he passed. And then his was like, he was just getting his artery or whatever, his arteries, he was getting his heart cleaned out, and then they couldn't bring him back, so
Yeah.
he died on the stretcher. But Norm Macdonald, man, that's like one of those like. And then my cousin told me he's like he held it close to the chest, so like nobody knew that he had cancer, and
Yeah.
and that he passed. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, think about Norm, the way he does his interviews, the way like he didn't care, he don't care. And that's one thing I gotta love about Kevin Smith, and maybe that's the thing about Bruce Willis. They're both from Jersey, and I'm starting to get to know Jersey people a little bit better, and just by by talking to them, and hanging out with them online. But what I'm noticing is, like Norm Macdonald, who didn't care for these interviews. You see the one where he comes out in The View, and he's talking about like he's like, we gotta get all those murderers out of the White House because he asked them a question, and they go, oh well, we're not gonna talk about that. And he goes, oh yeah, Bill Clinton, he's a murderer. And like. And he's just like talking about it. And the ladies from The View, like, what's her name? Joy Behar, I guess her name is.
Yeah.
Or no, the other one, the older one. Sorry, who's the older one? The older one.
Um.
I don't know which the older one is.
Whoopi Goldberg.
No, not Whoopi. The older one.
No,
The
Joy
older,
Behar. Oh, Barbara Walters.
that Baba Walters. There we go.
Baba Wawa.
Jay gets mad at him because Joy Behar kind of steps to the side, and then Baba Walters starts getting mad at Norm Macdonald, and they're kind of going on with it like it's a joke. But then Whoopi's like, "What's he?" And then Nunn's like, "Yeah." Like he's messing with them. And they don't get it. They don't get it, dude. But he's also messing with them because he's talking about stuff they don't want to hear. And he's like, well, if you're like, in my interpretation is, you're on this giant platform to be spreading out awareness, and this is what you want to talk about. Okay, let's talk about it, but let's talk about the other side.
Yeah.
And but R.I.P. Norm, man, that you will be missed. I loved all your interviews. I loved the stories about comedians thinking that they were going to be your friends. And then they're like, he would give them his number and then he would never reply to them. Like when they would call him, he'd never answer. He just, hey, check. He's like, hey, Norm, I called you. Oh, you did? Oh, give it a shot again. Maybe that old cellular telephone is not working, but call me tomorrow and we'll see. And then he won't answer. He never answered the phone, dude. Dude, that's insane, dude. That's funny. Like, and I'm talking about these aren't just regular comedians. He's like real stand-up comedians. Like,
He's like the Andy Kaufmans, you know, like
yes, dude.
they
Well, we
have
like,
those quirkinesses the quirkiness about them.
yes, dude. And he's being like playful, but at the same time, he's kind of being real in a way.
Yeah, it's like life's a joke, but it's really it's really a joke, you know.
It is a joke, yeah. Like, laugh's a joke. Laugh at it. Oh, you're not laughing at it? Let me show how I laugh at it. You know, like
that's the kind of feel I get from Bill Murray too. It's just like life's a joke, you know. Like a lot of those SNL, you know, original SNL alums. You really kind of get a feel for that. Chevy Chase is another one.
Yeah, apparently he's like he tried.
A lot of people just thinks he's you know, just a big old asshole, and I bet he is. But I mean, even with Community, the Russo brothers worked with him. Dan Harmon and all those other people, they said he was very difficult to work with. But you know, I think that's the kind of the same thing that happened with Bruce Willis too. Like, you're in the industry for so long, you know, like it just becomes a joke, and so you just have to you keep on having to push in the envelope. And the older you get, the more you can get away with, because everybody's like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy's funny. Like, you know, he's just joking. You know, it's very interesting.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and you're right.
They probably did a lot of drugs back on that show too.
They
Like,
did. The SNL was known for that, but I mean, I think to break I give them, and I have a bunch of like older SNL stuff, like books, scripts, and stuff I've been buying from Half Price Books, and as I read them, I'm like, man, like the way they talk, like the way Dan Aykroyd writes is great, but the way they try to dub down, so he would write like very offensive stuff just to see where they can, how watered down they'd be, and he'd kind of find the middle, and I'm like, oh cool, I know to do that now, you know, like.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and by the way, everybody, I'm apologizing. I'm holding the mic in my hand because I can't get where I'm stationed. I can't get the arm to hold it. So if it's
CJ, I can't see you, so you're good.
Oh no, I'm just talking about because I don't know how the audio is coming in.
No, it's sounding good.
All right, thank you.
Problem with it.
I feel like I can just hear myself breathing because I have it all.
Maybe I'm too close.
No, it's me. It's me because I have it more because my voice. I'm trying to compensate for the bass not being there, but I mean it's all bass. I have nothing but bass, no tremble in my voice. So I'm trying to make up.
Megan Trainor said it's all about that bass.
Oh yeah.
No. But yeah. So, what were we talking about?
Oh, we were just talking about Norm Macdonald and how him and like all the SNL crew were kind of doing drugs, messing with, you know, not saying that they were, but they did. You know, we understand why.
It's probably a very good chance, and sometimes your eyes get awakened and you can't close them. If you do stuff like that, you know, like you just kind of, it can definitely lead you on a different path in life.
And also does, dude. It's 62, man, or you know, I'm 37. That's not far away.
No.
And put it this, like you have also, I want to say this. I guess we'll get back to Die Hard. The characters, because Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman, when the way they show him is like, well, the way they reveal the main villain is like. I love the way they do the shots.
Like at the very beginning, like where he's in the middle and everybody's surrounded him.
And they show, and then I picked up on him. He's like the quarterback in this movie.
He knows all the plays, man.
Yes, and I didn't realize that he has stress. That's why they fight, and that's why that scene where it says like, oh, only John can piss off somebody when he pisses off Carl, because he killed his brother and he can't get to him. And then that was even hard when Carl says, no, but I killed him first. And I'm like, well, then why are we even here, Carl? Like, if I can't kill him, like, why am I even here? I'm gonna go back downstairs. You wanna have a cat and mouse game with my life? No, Carl.
Why am I here, Carl? If you're just gonna kill him.
Yeah. Why am I? You want me to help you corner him and flank him? Yeah. And then he shoots me. No, Carl. You go and do it.
You're gonna survive this, Carl. I just have a feeling.
Yeah, no, that's another Robot Chicken, right? Like, you go, or I kill you. Carl, I just know I was kind of like a bad situation. I signed up to be the guy the lookout. You guys told me I could just stay in the car And now you guys have me up here with AK-47, and you're telling me I didn't sign up for this.
Seth
It's like,
Green, Breckenmeyer, if you're hearing this now, please, we would love
uh,
to write a Die Hard Robot Chicken episode for you. Um,
and by the way, Becker Myers, I did meet you in Colorado Springs. I was the only brown guy you met that day, so it's easy to remember. Just kidding, but yeah, we could do a robot chicken. Well, also Cleveland show did the whole Die Hard in 30 minutes. It was awesome. But did you? It's just they took the Cleveland show and they based all their characters and they put them in Die Hard, and it works with their stupid characters. It works so bad.
kind of like they did with Star Wars, with the
Yes,
Blue Harvest and everything.
yeah, they use their characters and they put them in, but then you feel like you know those characters enough that when they put them in, you're like, oh, I could see that. I want to talk about
Sorry, before you go,
go.
there's since we're talking about the Cleveland show, Family Guy, man, they had an episode where Brian was in Die Hard. Do you remember that? Where it was they had like a shot of Brian and he was over there by Al. It was like
Yes,
they actually took footage of the movie and then put Brian in there.
I'm
And
happy.
I just
Keep on
huh?
going. No,
I
keep
just
going.
thought that was the funniest thing, man.
Okay, so that scene right there, that scene, that guy that they cropped over, that
Yeah.
guy, that's the guy I'm talking about. Anthony Peck is his name. Let me see if I got it right here. Let me see if I
Pecker.
can up.
Yeah, Pecker.
Let me see if I can up real quick. So I can show to everybody what I'm talking about. He's in Die Hard. He's in
3
Die Hard 3,
with a
and he's got
vengeance.
and dude, I have like this weird. I'm pretty good at. My mom made me memorize, take me to business meetings, and I had to memorize people's profiles and faces and names. And half the time, I want to everybody's memory like so and so. Yes, mom, I saw him. I didn't talk to him, but I saw him. And she'd be like, "Oh, that's not what I want. Go talk to him. Go introduce yourself." I'm like, "Mom, I don't really, okay." It's because I was always a little bit taller. I'm not tall, but in my hometown, I was a little bit taller. So let me see real quick as we talk. I'll upload it and I'll see if I can get it going. I did find out I could upload as we talk. But that Brian episode, that sketch, the one you're talking about,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the scene. And also, it's just so cool that I actually found him in the IMDb, or I'm talking about on Amazon. Okay, here we go. Here's the character I'm talking about. That's him. That's the guy that Brian covers. His name's Anthony Peck. He is
Interesting.
actually
He looks familiar. He almost looks like Harold Ramis.
a little bit, right? He's got that Sam
Yeah.
Raimi look too. Look right where it says "read more." It says
He's
"Die
Harold
Hard with a
Ramis.
Oh, but if you look at it where it says "Die Hard with a Vengeance," he's in that movie as I'm watching regular Die Hard. That's pretty cool. That this guy's character. So I'm wondering if this is him at the
Is
beat
it the
in LA.
same character?
No, it's not the same character, but the same actor.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is this him? Is this he still alive in the Die Hard world? But he died in Die Hard 3, so that means that he died in that he was living in I mean that he was younger here and he got older, went to New York, got promoted, and then got killed in the movie. Oh, if that's it, and that's some crazy stuff. If I just figured this out on my own or just for myself, that this character, it's his young cop Anthony Peck, because he does have about 2 or 3 lines, and he's a young cop in Die Hard. And then when we get to Die Hard and Vengeance, he's by that time he's like a lieutenant, and that's how him and John McClane are very close because he's the one that gets shot, and John McClane finds him in the elevator, outside of the elevator scene when he shoots all those people.
Uh-huh.
And by the
No,
what's
this
up?
guy just knows the director, man. Okay, because look, he's been in Hunt for Red October, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard, and The Last Action Hero. All of those directed by Joe McTiernan. Tiernan.
And for everyone that's a side by side and CJ Robles Ben Garrett fan, you're gonna catch on that Ben Garrett will be in all of CJ Robles' movies because I'll be directing them. He's got. I can never do a solo movie because Ben's always gonna be in it somehow. But that's cool, man. Like I'm happy I caught that and I was able to see that. But I wanted to talk about Takagi?
Takaki.
Takaki.
No, it's Takagi.
Takagi.
It's Takgi. So Takagi.
Takagi, right? Played by James Shigita. Man, his role, his performance this time for me really stuck out because Hans Gruber tells him, "I didn't even think about this. I've heard it, but I didn't think about it." He goes, "I like your suit. I got 2 at home." So you get what he's saying, that he's also a powerful man too. Unfortunately, James Shigita passed away in 2014. So
Mm,
thank you for coming on this movie.
yep.
But man, he it's like his character. That's why he doesn't tell the password because he's a powerful man too, but he doesn't have a gun.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I noticed about him and Hans Gruber's interaction. Um, you know, oh, and then also Ellis, played by Hart Bachner.
Hmm.
I'll tell you that dude. That sleazy guy. He does a he has a good
It,
sleazy guy role.
yes, he really does. Like he nails that role. And I think if he didn't have the scruff on his face either, it wouldn't be as believable. I'm glad he had like a beard.
Yes, yes, and in the way he is. But you know what I gotta say. It'll end in 20 seconds. It'll be fine. But what do you call it? What I noticed is his death scene. I never really paid attention to. Like I said, I'm catching it from different angles now. His death scene was caused by himself.
Yeah.
You realize that I didn't. I never paid attention that he was the reason why he gets shot. Because Hans Gruber just shot Mr. Takagi in the head, so he's already used to it. So that's why when John McClane's like, "Wait a minute, they're gonna kill you," no, like
Yep.
he's like, "You don't know me," and he's thinking he can negotiate. He's thinking he can talk his way out of it, and he clearly didn't, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll use myself. He won't let me die." And he's like, "No, dude, you literally walked into the lion's den and said, 'Oh, the lion's not gonna eat me. He's talking to me. I'm cool.'" And then the lion eats him, and we're like, "Dude, you were in the lion's den." That's like that dude that had an experience with Tillicum the whale, that orca, which I'm finding out orcas are horrible because they're big dolphins that like to just be they're apex predators. There's nothing scarier than them in the ocean. They are the number one killing thing, and they kill for fun. But hold on, I need to take care of this kid, or he's
Yeah, you go for it.
I'm gonna get in trouble for whatever. So here, take it over.
No, no, no. Watching Die Hard for this time around, I thought what was really interesting is you kind of get all the different dynamics of cops. And then back in 1988, you probably had what the drama cops on TV. If it's not, then it's getting kind of close to that time. And you, I mean, cops are a staple of television in the 80s. I mean, you have Magnum PI, you have Columbo. I guess he was a private eye, and I guess so was Magnum. But that type of character. Um, but here you have the NYPD cop. All right, you have John McClane, who's like I said, the cowboy. He's used to busting up those drug rings and everything, going down to the docks and getting real dirty, down and dirty with them. Uh, all that good stuff. And then you have Al, who's a desk jockey, and you get his story later. You have the captain, or oh goodness, no, the head cop. I can't remember exactly what his title is, uh, but the guy who's calling the shots, and he's there more for political. He's like a figurehead. He's really kind of into the political game, and anything that happens, oh, I need to go call the mayor. Then you have the FBI. They're going in, guns ablazing, thinking they have control of the situation, stuff like that. So you really just kind of get all of those different dynamics of authority figures throughout this movie. Uh, and then you have Hans Gruber and his different people. Also, watching the subtitles in this movie, you see that they aren't speaking German all the time. I don't know whether that is like official, that these interpreters or whoever's listening and doing the subtitles. I see Italian and French pop up there a lot throughout. So I guess some of the terrorists in there were Italian as well. Um, and then at the end, I think it's Hans that is speaking French, but I'm not entirely. I'm not. I don't know who. And then you also have two Americans in his crew, Theo, and then I think Bill at the bottom with who's the security guard. So even Hans, man, he has like a diverse group of people. It's not just all German terrorists in this group. I think that's pretty interesting because even in the description of this movie on IMDb, it's German terrorist. Um, so I guess they just lump Han in there with them. Uh, but yeah, no, Die Hard is it's probably the reason it holds up so well. It's one of those perfect action movies. All right. It's one of those movies that you can follow along. It has attention to detail, but it's not giving everything away. It's not saying, "Hey, watch out for that gun," like, and so, "Hey, watch out for this." With
I'm back.
Die Hard, you get little subtle hints throughout the movies, like, John McClane handing his gun to Hans Gruber, but not giving him any bullets. Like, you see that and you're like, "Oh man, that's a terrible move," because you see, at least Hans Gruber's smart enough. It's like you get to see these two guys playing chess in an action movie. Like
Awesome. Yeah.
it's really just how you're moving your chess pieces, and then a lot of luck for John McClane not getting hit by those bullets. Um, but what I was saying earlier, CJ, is you do get to see kind of the hierarchy of authority figures in this movie too.
Yeah.
Like, you have John McClane, who's out there on the streets of New York, and all that stuff. Then you have Al, who's a desk jockey. I couldn't I couldn't remember his title, but Al's boss, who comes in, and he's kind of like
Tries
the
to give him the
dish.
horns.
Yeah, it's not his captain. It's like the guy above the captain, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just saying, like, he's more of a political figurehead in the department. He's trying to please the mayor and please everybody else. And then you have the FBI, who are coming in there, and they have their set strategies that they go to. Like, they know how to deal with terrorists, but these aren't actual um the normal terrorists, so the playbook isn't going
Yeah.
to work here. And even Hans's crew is what I was saying too. Is like, you have Americans. I don't know
I
if
heard. I
you
heard. I
noticed
heard. I
this.
heard. I heard what you're saying.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was. I was coming back for it. This is, as I haven't been. Like I said, I haven't been around him the last few days, so he's wanting to hang out with me, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm keeping myself away. I mean, I feel great. There's nothing wrong with me. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure, But today we're being a little bit more hands on, and I think everything would be fine. I just want to, what do you call it? It's just, I mean, it's been. I didn't see him all weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday. So it's like, he's like wants to hang out and play. So I'm gonna be sorry, everybody. Is that my son is my first priority, and he needs me. I'm gonna step away one more time.
Yeah. So, um, anyway, going back to Die Hard. Yeah, this like I was saying, you get to see these two very aware individuals kind of play chess with each other, cat and mouse.
Yeah, I did. I
And
did. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, no, go for it.
No, I was saying what you said about him having the gun. That was like the ultimate checkmate.
Yeah,
I saw that and I was like, oh, badass. That's how he catches them. Because imagine if John McClane would have been wrong. He would have been like, all right, well, cool. Again, I'm sorry, I gave you a gun that was empty. But
yeah.
the character, the actor's name is Paul Gleason, and he's the one you're talking about, right? He's just above him, and then he gets everything wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's bumbling. He's the principal from Breakfast Club. Yeah,
Yeah. So I found the Breakfast Club, but I don't know his name was in here. It's Dwayne T. Robbins. That's right. He goes, look, Dwayne, because John McClane. He's actually the fourth bill in here. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's not thinking like a cop. He's thinking like a politician.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He's like, you let that guy die. You didn't do anything for him. Nothing. He's not thinking about. He doesn't believe that this is a real terrorist situation. I mean, it's not until I don't even think he believes it until they start bringing people out
Yeah.
freely. You
Yeah.
know.
And I think and you're right, and that's like authority, even in those levels. Even the beat cop, it's like he shares a story. Oh, I shot a kid. That's why.
Yeah.
It's like it's so like, and then he has to shoot Carl at the end, which is like, all right, he like redeems himself. See, that's a redemption right there. Like, he had to hold everything he needed to do to get to save, protect John McClane, that he finally gets to like just meet. And
Yeah.
that story between Al and John McClane now to me has way more value than I ever thought I would give it,
Yeah.
because it's a super important piece to this, because you have the people that think they're in charge, the people that say they're in charge, and the people that are actually in charge.
Yeah.
So, and you get that all in here. And that's what I'm saying. This movie is completely layered. And we're not even talking about the freaking reporters that show up. William Atherton, actor William Atherton, he plays Thornburg.
Biodome.
Yeah,
Right?
and
Yeah.
Biodome, and geniuses, real geniuses. He's always plays like a scholar, like villain.
Yeah,
He could. He
yeah,
could. He probably could have been in Flubber. He probably could
yeah.
have been the
Oh,
villain.
but no, we got Shooter McGavin for that one.
Oh, we got our boy. We got.
Yeah.
I got to get a cameo from him. Whenever they do one of those discount cameos, I'm gonna get one from Shooter for side by side. For
Shooter.
Shooter. Oh, let me. I guess I'll show you real quick, everybody, since I'm on the Indie Escape Network, and we actually talked about these movies. I'll do a quick. We'll talk about this, and we'll move over to Dogma because there's a lot we could talk about Die Hard, and we can still talk about it. But I did want to share this, and I think this is a segue. So, you know what? No,
You
no,
want
let's
to talk about Die Hard for a little bit
yeah,
longer?
let's talk about Die Hard. Yes, you're
Okay.
right. I
Well,
wrote it. I wrote it. I wrote it
there's
down. I wrote it
yeah,
down right here at the end. I'm sorry. I should stick to what I wrote at the end. So keep
no,
going about
and
Die Hard.
so we still need to do trivia for Die Hard. I don't know if you can pull any up or anything like that, but
All right, you go, and I'll go.
I did see a couple of cool facts while I was looking this up. Let's see here. I'm on Dogma right now. Let's see if I can go.
I mean, even the actor Carl, played by Alexander Gudonvo. I'm saying in Spanish, and he's German or something. But Godunov. He's a ballerina. He's a ballet. What do you call it? Performer. And I don't know if they call him. Sorry, I don't know if they call him ballerinas, but he does ballet, and he what do you call it? He was in this movie just because of his elegance and his movements, and I can see it like him like that's like a peaceful strength that he has in this movie that she displays. What's up? You got anything?
So, um, the costume department had 17 undershirts at various stages of degradation on hand for Bruce Willis.
That's about right.
Uh, yeah, Bruce Willis received a then unheard of $5 million fee, which was approved by Fox president Rupert Murdoch. That's interesting, man. Like they had such confidence in this movie. Actually, how much did this make? That
Oh
is
yeah,
a
let's see. This
let's
is
because okay. So budget. Oh, holy shit! Is this adjusted? Oh, okay. Never mind. That's 1,000. All right. The budget was 28 million. All right. Opening weekend was just 601,000 dollars, but the gross in the U.S. was 83 million. Worldwide gross 141 million on 28
yeah. This
thousand
movie.
or $28 million budget. That's
This is
pretty good.
this is the first, but this is the first of many because this is the original one of those first action movies that can make move that was able to back off of a comedian that can make a movie, and it did it. It
All right.
it
So
freaking
I'm just curious. Okay, 2000. Oh, that's a good day to Die Hard. No, leave free to Die Hard. I'm curious on what. So when was Die Hard with a Vengeance? Like 95, something like that.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so like 95. So like 12 years
94
later,
maybe something like that.
12 years later, you have a Die Hard movie come out. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like I said, curiosity on how much this one's. Let's see here. Okay. So the budget for it was $110 million. For the opening weekend, it made $33 million. The gross was 134 million, and that was just the U.S.
Where are you getting this?
Worldwide
Where are you
gross,
getting this from?
IMDb for Live
IMDb.
Free or Die Hard. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was
yeah,
thought.
and then worldwide gross for the movie was 388 million.
Oh,
Interesting. So it's not really. Maybe this is like Die Hard's popular in the world because they're like, this is American, like
and
this.
that's what I was trying to say about the Shang-Chi movie.
Mhm.
Like, I think they would prefer to watch movies like this, like the West. To them, these are westerns.
Yeah, yeah.
And technically
This
one of
is
the
a
was.
Western dude. I
Yeah,
mean, he
this is a
calls
Western.
himself cowboy. He has a villain that's a smart villain that is after him. There's different other people you have to fight before you get to the villain.
Yeah, it's like
You
a
know,
video game, like a
yeah, it's
later.
like a video game. Yeah.
And check this out. The scene where Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman meet up was unrehearsed to create a greater feeling of spontaneity
Yep,
between the actors. Now that's awesome.
that is pretty cool.
You just because you're getting it raw. Like I understand so much. So it's like, and that's why I always appreciate you doing the show with me because we've gone this long. And as a filmmaker, I've been able to create more room and space in my head because I know stuff like this now. if you're gonna have your villain and your hero meet up in this climactic scene, you don't want them to be buddies. You don't want to show friendship in the movie. You want to show hate. You want to show
Yeah.
this.
And
Ah
you
man,
even see that face he makes whenever oh gosh, I can't remember what Bruce Willis says to Alan Rickman, but he just looks at him like, oh, because he wants to go to the roof.
oh yeah,
And
please
he's
don't
like,
know
no, we're not going there. He's just like, oh, damn.
the gun because he knows the gun. I feel like Bruce Willis. I mean, John McClane already knows. Here he knows he's there.
Yeah,
So I
well,
know.
and I always click on they have that clickbait on Facebook. It's like 14 facts you didn't know about the movie. Um, so one of them was that Bruce Willis figured out that Alan Rickman was Hans Gruber by the watch that he wore, and all the other
Yeah.
uh, people had watches on. Yeah.
So I also the name Clay. He William Clay.
Mm-hmm.
He just took it from there. There's some fan theories out there that I remember they're talking. I know Minty Comics. He has a 10 things you didn't know about Die Hard, which is good to watch. Anybody wants YouTube, I'd say YouTube Minty Comics Die Hard. It's a pretty good one. And yeah, like the watch, and I think is the name because he kind of. But I think I already knew. I think after watching this, I knew John McClane knew it was him after just by his reaction. Oh, you're one of them, man.
Mm-hmm.
No, man. But let's see here. The fictional Nakatomi Plaza is the headquarters of 20th Century Fox. The company charged itself rent for the use of the then unfurnished building. You kicking me out of the band that I started? Like,
Dude, they're charging itself rent. Like, what the fuck? I guess that's to write it off at the end of the year or some shit like that. That's
I
interesting.
can't. You can't. And only in order to be myself, to beat myself, I have to be myself. In 2007, Bruce Willis donated John McClane's undershirt to the Smithsonian's Museum. So one of those 17 shirts made it to the Smithsonian. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Much of the script was improvised due to the constant screenplay tweaks that were being made during the filming. So this is
Interesting.
improv. Awesome. Bruce Willis's favorite role has always been John McClane. So it's good. We got some facts here. Now, the one question I have to ask you, just to make sure that we make it clear, is this a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Totally.
And I was looking. I was wondering if it was released around Christmas, but no, it was in the middle of the summer. Christmas
So-
in July. I'm sure they probably marketed
So
it.
so where do you catch? I have a clear vision of I can show. I mean, I have a clear point where I can show you how it's a Christmas movie. Do you have how do you?
Whenever
do
he whenever he sends not Hans but Heimlich or whatever up, and he has a Santa Claus stuff
Yeah.
on.
So that You know what? You know what made this a Christmas movie for me?
The music.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
beginning, it alters into music. The director or the producer or somebody made it that when as soon as they did that, you instantly because they had a remix of a Christmas music, you instantly made it a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
If you would,
It's like Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie. You know,
yeah, oh yeah,
I consider it that at least.
I do too. And it's because you're right. The movie was made in July. It was released in the summer, but I'm pretty sure they were trying to bank on that Christmas money too. You know.
Yeah.
Like the summer blockbuster and the Christmas going out. Because I believe, I mean, I'm not wrong. I think Die Hard 2 was actually released around Christmas time.
That makes sense because that's a Christmas movie too. There's snow in that one. And then okay, so is it Die Hard 2 or Die Harder?
Die Hard 2. And then they switched it. The original title was Die Harder. And it's now known as Die Hard 2 because they went back and changed it. But prior to that, it was Die Hard, Die Harder. Or no, I think it was Die Hard 2, Die Harder. I mean, sorry, Die Hard, Die Harder, I think was the original. I think that's what it was. Something like that. Or maybe I just confused everybody. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Let's see. This movie was released, July 3rd. They're doing it again. I did it again. Sneaky, but smarts. But yeah, I believe it's a Christmas movie. I also, the whole thing about taking... Okay, so I want to talk about this real quick. Two things real quick. One, the shoes. I think I would have got stuck in my room trying to figure. I would have been stuck trying to get back my shoes. I don't even care about no socks. I would have tried. Like I would have been John McClane and just run with those shoes. I would have been like, no, let me get my shoes in my hand. Put my gun in my shoes. Like let me tie the laces. Let me keep them around my neck. Or even if I found I wear a size 13 shoe. So and I'm not that tall. And if I found that that guy that they said the first scene that the guy killed Hans or whatever his name is. I would have took his shoes off and I would have just still forced my feet in there. or I would have took his knife and cut the top and let my toes hang out. But
Well, he doesn't even try on anybody else's shoes.
nah, he just well, I don't think he has. I don't know. You're right. I don't think, yeah, you're right. He doesn't. Okay, now the other question is, how close does that guy look like Huey Lewis, the guy from downstairs?
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Is it Huey Lewis?
yeah, Huey Lewis in the news. He looks like him.
All right, so I was going through the trivia and this one came up. I thought it was pretty funny. When Ellis meets with Gruber, Carl can be seen pouring Ellis a glass of Coca-Cola. This
Yeah.
is most likely because Ellis, who had been snorting cocaine throughout the film, asked them if they had any Coke, which they mistook as him mentioning soda.
Oh my goodness!
That's a stretch, but yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think that's funny that Ellis's character is that cherry character, man. He's got a, and also I didn't there's a line he says, I don't remember when he says it, I can't remember, but there's a line he says like, well, there goes the party or something like that. Like, it's just a quick line. They like, it's a transition scene. Something happens and he goes, oh, I'm not going to that, or something like that. Like, he says something stupid and I was like, I can't believe he says that. That was dumb. But yeah,
Hey, and what are all those papers falling on them at the end? Like,
the bonds. Those are the bonds.
those are the bonds?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and the other thing is, one thing I noticed from all the three movies, I picked up about John McClane, and I think this is why I like John McClane the most, because he's not following the rules. He's too smart to know that I know you're gonna shoot me before I talk it, because you think I'm a cop. And that's another thing when he tells him you're a cop, he's like, yeah, right. I'm a cop. I'm a cop, but I'm not a LA cop. So they think that cops have to follow the rules, and that's why he says I'm not gonna shoot you, and he shoots. And then the other thing is, John McClane shoots first, then asks questions. So maybe John McClane's the first cop. I don't want to talk about that, but he shoots because these are terrorist situations. The guy's telling him, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. And the other guy comes from behind. And then John McClane shoots him first before that guy even takes a shot off. He shoots, but he gets shot. And in part 3, there's a scene where John McClane walks up to the trucks and he's acting like those guys, like, hey, what's going on? He knows they're bad guys. And he just shoots the truck shoots the door and shoots those guys. And I'm like, well, what if he was wrong? You know, but that's for another day.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say too, like, this movie is very well shot. There are no each scene has its own merit. And like whenever he says shoot the glass, this movie isn't trying to explain anything to you either. You're just picking it up as you go. You know, it's not like shoot the glass because then he can't walk. He's barefoot. You know, they're just like shoot the glass. Like he doesn't have to explain anything. Yeah.
And he just does
it. You know, it's a movie that it actually feels like they're the actual people moving throughout an experience and not just actors, you know.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't take you out of that. You stay in this building the entire time. You don't come out of it. You know.
That's a great way to break it down, dude. That's a really good way to break it down. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Like, you don't like,
and even John McClane, like, he sits there and talks to himself. Like, people do that. People, like, you know, they'll sit there and talk like, way to go, John. Like, you were real mature there, you know. Like, that's
and the first lines that he tells himself, think.
Yeah, like he's
Sorry.
What do you got?
I saw the part. I just saw the part where Ellis. So the part where Ellis says is when the cops are coming, right before and that's another scene that cracks me. I'm sorry, I'm completely going off, but where John's calling he's on the walkie-talkie calling the dispatchers, and they're like, this is a secured line, and he's like, okay, come over here, come get me. And they don't like that. Just show you how PC cops are. Like, if you like how PC is, like, look how I do it. And then Ellis is he's like, he hears the sirens, and he says, I never thought I'd be glad to hear that noise.
Yeah. Well, dude, and it's so interesting too, because you get this this distinct difference, like you said, between a New York cop and an LA cop. Like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe it's just me, but it seems every time a New York cop is depicted, it's just like always like real grungy, like, you know, 90s, like 80s, like they have to deal with all this horse shit, man. And like LA cops, they don't have to deal with anything. It's like going up to Beverly Hills and checking in on
like they're security guards or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's kind of the feel that you get from these movies. And of course, you know, lately you have like Training Day and all this other stuff that kind of paints a new light on it.
I do like. I mean, I do like that, because that, like, Training Day, that's a really good movie. Than just
that's in LA. I mean, End of Watch. I mean, they have quite a few of those movies that are set in L.A. and set in.
Oh, speaking about end of watch, um, this weekend at the convention, a million times I got, and I get this a lot, and I just they finally broke it down to me. Donnie Darko. They say I look like Jake Gyllenhaal, specifically Donnie Darko. Specifically, I was like, "Thank you." At least got some role that I just when you just hear I hear, and I'm talking about everybody in the movie industry that I've worked with, or like at some point, or a set, not like normal. Well, I've heard it from normal people, but like people that at a convention, they're like, "Hey, you look like Jake Gyllenhaal," and I'm like, I don't see it. But then
You know
after this,
what? We may be on the same wavelength, dude, because I don't see it either. But I mean, that's a compliment in my book.
that's what I think. And then I've heard that like you look. I'm like, what am I like the dark Jake Gyllenhaal or the Latino version? So then after this weekend, I kind of people were telling me embrace stuff and
Like,
uh,
let me go take off the. Let me see you real quick.
okay, hold on. He wants to
I just need to
wants to look in my
get a
eyes.
visual. Yeah, I mean, see, you got a different chin, bro. I mean, or like a different jawline. Like Jake Gyllenhaal's jawline is like it's almost like a triangle with hexagon sides on it, and yours is just like kind of coming
Yeah.
down,
And I got the chin at the bottom. Yeah, I know you're saying I got the
yeah,
chin at the
you know what I'm
bottom, but
saying?
he's
Like
got those dark.
yeah, and it's like it's out more. Like, I mean, I can see where they're coming from. Like, yeah, you do look like a young Jake Gyllenhaal.
I think
You
we're the
know,
same age or something.
well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like
He's
his
like
voice.
40, dude. Like he's like
Uh,
42.
so
So
but so so
he's like me and you. You know,
I get
like
you. I get you. Yeah, the age difference. So
yeah.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get that, and so it got me thinking. I'm gonna write a movie with me and Jake Gyllenhaal. We're brothers, but instead he's raised around the Mexican family, and I'm raised around the white family, and then we have to meet.
That's funny, dude. So I just saw a little bit of news today that Tracy Morgan is going to be in triplets with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
So I guess Eddie Murphy didn't pan out.
oh yeah, no, I forgot I'm supposed to be Eddie Murphy. Damn, but
Yeah,
Tracy Morgan now that just makes it a whole.
I know,
If Tracy Morgan could beat Tracy Morgan, this will make it like so like.
dude. He had a TV show on TBS, The Last OG. It's on Netflix. I highly suggest
Oh,
watching it. It's
I seen
very good.
episode one. It's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay,
Um,
so keep going. I'm
so
gonna step away real quick, 1 second,
okay,
so I can take care of my boy. But
no,
do
you go
you
for it,
want to
man.
get started with Dogma, or you want to finish up Die
Now,
Hard?
I'm gonna finish up Die Hard, and then we'll go into Dogma whenever you get back.
Sweet, sweet. It'll be
All
like 2
right,
minutes.
so you know, Die Hard. Like I said, these scenes aren't wasted. Every scene has merit. Every shot has something that's given to you. Um, I think throughout the movie, there's only one kind of throwaway scene, but I honestly can't remember exactly what it was. It just kind of like cut to this, and it was just like, well, what was going on there? Kind of crossed my mind, but um, yeah, Die Hard is it's just a classic, man. It is a classic action movie. It has everything that you want in an action movie. It has, you know, suspense. It has laughter. It has, you know, a lot of gunfighting, a lot of machine guns coming at you, explosions, big explosions. But like I said, it's not over the top. It's just the right amount of action, you know. And like I said, you see these movies consistently getting more and more you know, having to go over the top and having to do the new thing. Um, and it can kind of take away from what you're trying to do if you do too much. You know, too much of a good thing isn't always a good thing. And like I said, with Live Free or Die Hard, I felt like it was it was definitely doing too much. And was it believable at times? No, but I enjoyed it. It was a new, interesting movie to watch, and like I said, that was the first Die Hard I came in on. I remember going and seeing that in theaters and just kind of pretending I'd seen the Die Hard films before that. And honestly, rewatching it now after seeing some of the Die Hards, or seeing all of the Die Hards, really, I think Die Hard with a Vengeance I've only seen in bits and pieces, but I know I've seen Die Hard and Die Hard 2 all the way through. after after rewatching or after watching them and looking back on Live Free and Die Hard, I really didn't need all that much information just to enjoy Live Free or Die Hard. You know, I feel like they're great standalone movies. And it's they you don't need one to get to the other. It definitely helps, but you don't need it. You don't need that jump from one movie to the next. Um, but also Alan Rickman in this role. At times, I didn't know whether he was doing a German accent or not, or if he was just doing his normal voice. But every once in a while, it would come out and you'd be like, "Okay, all right, cool. He is doing a German accent. Just didn't catch it." Um, but him in this portrayal, he does such a good job of being like a snobby villain, like somebody that you can hate, but he is very charming about it. Like he's not wanting people to suffer. I mean, he helps a pregnant woman get a sofa and all this other stuff. He's willing to compromise, and he doesn't want to kill these people. That's not his intent. Um, well, maybe he is trying to blow him up at the end. I can't honestly remember if that was the case, but uh, yeah, no, I think he's a villain that you can really hate, but he does have redeeming qualities about himself, whether it just be, caring for a pregnant woman for a minute. He's not gonna completely uh, not be empathetic to people's needs. And even whenever Holly has her interaction with him when he's who put you in charge? You did. Uh, whenever you shot my boss, and he just kind of looks up at her like it just kind of takes him off guard. Uh, I just don't think that he's used to being talked to in that tone, very matter of factly. She really kind of gets to the point. And also, some trivia I read: the actress who plays Holly. Let me see what her name is real quick. Um, Bonnie Bedelia. Um, her and Alan Rickman used to have lunch together daily, and they were really good friends, despite being, kind of on opposite sides. Not kind of, definitely on opposite sides of this movie. With her, with her really playing that, especially towards the end, once he finds out that that's Mrs. McLean. Yeah, they really have those intense scenes together, and that was probably helped out by them actually knowing one another. And she said he was a really great guy, and RIP Alan Rickman for sure, man. Lost lost someone real good there, because he is just a great actor. Brings a lot to every role that he has. I mean, anybody that watches Harry Potter, I mean, he's just a treasure. But CJ, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I did want to leave with I heard a little bit of what you were saying because
Yeah.
you're awesome.
Well, hey,
It's
you go for it, buddy. I will return in just a second. Okay.
I'll tell you. Let me tell you what I'm going to start off with until you get back, because I do want to talk about Holly Gennaro,
Uh huh.
and her played by Bonnie Bedelia. I liked her performance as a strong CEO woman, so I'm going to talk about that till you get back. So go
Yeah.
for it. Uh, so hold on, sorry everybody. I am putting on Ice Age Meltdown for my wee one, because he likes the Ice Age, and I need to set him up so I can keep going. And I do want to there it is, Meltdown. I do want to say sorry. I'm looking for it right there. Thanks to Ben Hameen for stepping in. I usually try to do these earlier in the morning, but I've had my schedule all over the place, so I kind of did a little bit later. But anyways, no excuses. Just keep going. Um, yeah, I want to say Bonnie's character. Wow, I've always that reminds me. She reminds me of my mom. But I'll say that the fact that she's not only is she smart, she's in control. She's very like, you know, it's like her and John McClane can't really, because they're both like alphas. So, but she's a different kind of alpha. And then like when Mr. Takagi dies, she's like, well, she tells Hans Gruber like, well, these people need, they have needs too. They're hostages. She speaks for the hostages, and the way she says like, well, you put me in charge. Who are you? Who put you in charge? Well, you did when you killed my boss. Now I'm in next in command. Like that was awesome. And the fact that the photos down and the beginning of the movie looks like a horrible thing, but now at this point in the movie where Hans Gruber is in her office and he's looking around and he doesn't see the photo, like that makes a lot more sense to me on like how she protected herself. And I mean she did that just to do it, right? But then it ended up coming back and it was a good thing. But the fact that she even says her name, what's her name, like a Miss Holly Gennaro, like she's showing that she's single. She wants to show that she's leaning so far into that body, that stereotype of a businesswoman, of an alpha businesswoman, that she is able to save herself and the people there, because she throws Gruber for a loop with that. And because I didn't even realize that the answers to a lot of the problems right in their face, but they don't know it. There's no real communication. Like we know it as a viewer, so it's so easy for me to understand. But when you're really in those scenes and you're seeing like what Holly does, like she does a lot of great things. She picks up at the very end when John McClane's counting on his belt buckle. Like she's aware. Like that's why she has that CEO mindset. That's why she is in charge. That's why she's aware of things. She can pick up on things. I want to say Shane Black wrote her beautifully. That's a strong female lead. Doesn't have to get in your face. She just knows her abilities and maxes them out, and then does what she has to do to protect the people, protect herself, protect John. And I gotta say, as everybody knows, I'm a Kevin Smith fan, and I strongly feel like he can write a female character. So, with that being led, let's jump into Dogma.
Shane Black wrote her in which movie?
I'm sorry, did I say Shane Black?
Yeah.
I keep thinking Leather. I keep thinking freaking. I'm watching Monster Squad. Sorry,
Monster Squad.
I keep watching. I just watched it. No, I'm talking about. Sorry about that. Jeb Stewart and Stephen E.D. I got caught up on the female role that was written. It was written by two people, so it's It's also based off of the book by Roderick Thorpe, and I'm sorry that I didn't really give too much credit to the writers. Thank you for catching me on that. I just thought of Shane Black.
No, I was curious because I didn't know.
You know what? That's one thing for me to think that Die Hard and Lethal Weapon are kind of the same, are in the same world or together, because they kind of have that where I feel like Lethal Weapon doesn't really have a lot of comedy. I feel like it's all action, where Die Hard has like hidden comedy right in front of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like
what's crazy too is this poster almost looks like it's two buildings. But it's one building. I always thought that was.
Yeah, I always thought it was two buildings. And then there's always the discrepancy that that Bruce Willis's face. If you take away his face, that was the original. What do you call it? Poster was the poster without him. And then for marketing purposes, they brought him back and they put him on it, so they can be like, there's a face with the movie. And by the way, that's a nice shot they did. That's some great graphic design work. Like I thought that was nice. Yeah, it does look like two buildings, but it's one. You're right. And then that helicopter scene. But I found Dogma playing on YouTube, but it's like it's altered and it's not the same, but it's still playing. So I'm gonna be able to watch it as we kind of get on it. And I think this is funny how they like, this is just the humor of Kevin Smith starting off Dogma. The little
Yeah.
freak, he says, so please, before you think about it starts, so it says something, but it says, so please, before you think about hurting someone over this trifle of a film, remember, even God has a sense of humor. Just think of the platypus. Thank you and enjoy the show.
And then again.
And he comes back and he says, P.S. We sincerely apologize to all platypus enthusiasts out there who are offended by the thoughtless comment about the platypi. We at VSQ respect the notable platypus, and it's not our intention to slight these stupid creatures in any way. Thank you again and enjoy the show. Do you know anything about platypus?
No.
I think they're very, very interesting creatures because they are very unique looking.
They just look weird. They're marsupials. I know that. So they lay eggs and they're mammals. Yeah.
And they keep their baby on them. Mm-hmm. But do you know that they're the only mammal with poison?
Really?
Yeah, and it's not I don't know if it's lethal to humans, but it's on their back hind leg. It's a defense mechanism.
Huh.
So yeah, they actually have poison. Like the sloth is the only mammal with green fur, because it can hide in the trees. It's
interesting.
I think I don't want to be. I found some random fact about platypi. platypus a while back. I think that's what it is. It actually has.
Well, I love how they say we don't want to slight this stupid creature. Like that made me laugh. I laughed out loud at that part.
Yeah, but that's good old Kevin Smith. So now, as we're
So
jumping in,
and this really like so what's so funny is at the end of Clerks you say they were returned for Dogma, and this really has an after Clerks kind of feel to it.
yes,
You know, like this, it doesn't feel like there were too many changes made to the script over the years. Um, because like that beginning, like that has a total feel of
yeah,
like Clerks and everything. Like
like even yeah, you're talking about the side, the starting the card, the title card kind of thing,
the
like
title card
title card,
and just explaining like, hey, we don't want anybody to get offended of this. It says disclaimer
and then
one,
and then right here,
a
you see,
renunciation of any claim or connection with, two, disavowal, and three, a statement made to save one's own ass. Oh, so it's telling you what a disclaimer is.
yeah,
Okay. I at first I guess whenever yeah, and so disclaimer.
I
It's
think
telling
it's
you what it is, and then he's going into it.
he's disclaiming the disclaimer, you know.
Yeah.
And then I like that Carlin's on here, George Carlin, get him,
Yeah.
and the opening scene, but also the second opening scene, but also I just noticed this right now because I know his face so well now because I've talked to him before. Is Brian O'Halloran,
Yeah.
Dante from Clerks? He's in the opening scene.
He's in the whole movie, man.
Yeah, but I mean, in the very I didn't catch him till right now. I just paused it and I happened to see him. He's amongst all the, he's secretly amongst all the reporters. I mean, his name, I think his name is not Gil Hicks in this one. That's from
It's
Mallrats.
um
Grant Hicks.
Grant Hicks, yeah.
So he's Grant Hicks. So every character that Brian O'Halloran has played, it's it's Dante Hicks, Gil Hicks, Grant Hicks. He's got, I think he got another one, and I've asked him on it, and he avoids the question. I've asked Brian O'Halloran, who's your favorite Hicks, and he avoids it. So one day I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna corner him and be like, look, Brian, which one is it? Not playing. But it's cool that we have the view skews already right in front of us. Because if you just to watch Dogma, you'd be like, it's just a guy. But no, there he is, right there. He's already in the front. The beginning, you have the homage to Clerks. Oh, sorry. Oh no, can you do it yourself or do you? I mean, he's got to pee.
Yeah. So no, we're going straight into Dogma. All right. We start off with a man looking at the ocean, staring off into a blissful sunrise or sunset. Probably a sunrise because the skee ball isn't open quite yet. I was just looking at the ocean, enjoying the beauty of it, and these two skate, was it field hockey punks just come up and beat the ever living hell out of him and put him in a coma. Yeah. So that's how the movie starts off. Very strange start to a movie. Right after that disclaimer. And then you go to Red Bank, New Jersey. All right. And then you have everybody clapping, enjoying their time. You got George Carlin as a priest, and he is just doing his George Carlin-ness, uh, explaining the Catholicism now. And at this point, everybody, I'm just kind of explaining what we got going on here. We just started Dogma. Um, and essentially, what George Carlin is getting at here is that Catholicism needs a revamp. They need to be more, connected to the people and enjoy a little bit more positivity instead of guilt. So that's what he's kind of getting at with Catholicism. Wow. And then they revealed the buddy Jesus. He even says, just oh man, he really does a great job in this movie being a just an over the top priest. I really love George Carlin's performance in this. It's a small role. He has a little bit of a role later, but it's just kind of getting everybody set up for this how goofy this movie is going to be. I'm just looking at Buddy Christ right now, pointing at me, giving a thumbs up. Doesn't give me the
Okay.
willies at all, there, CJ. But I was just saying how much I enjoyed George Carlin's performance in this movie, man. It just his facial expressions, just the way he moves his hands, just everything about him um, is great. And then right after you get that, you're introduced to Loki and Bartleby. And then you see Matt Damon, who is a repeat offender from Stuck on You, talking to a nun and explaining how through the looking glass, the painting or the poem, the oyster or the carpenter and the walrus, uh, is telling you about religion, everything like that. And he's just gets his kicks off of messing with these nuns. I think it's hilarious.
Excuse me, did you happen to say Buddy Christ? As
Buddy
in
Christ.
right here?
Yeah, that one.
He's happy, he's
I
scrappy,
thought that
he's the
said
son
Bubby.
of God.
That looks like Bubby Christ.
That's Buddy. Oh, it does look like Bubby Christ. It's Buddy Christ. He's scrappy. He's happy. He's scrappy. He's the son of God. That's one of those. I got. Yeah, I'm a view askew guy, so I got my collection
Yeah.
of stuff. But I'll say that that's being able to mock religion like this. It really does open up my eye a lot.
Well,
Because,
and that's the thing about it is watching it this time, I didn't feel like it was mocking religion that much as just like,
no, I'm talking about Buddy Christ.
oh yes, Buddy
Yeah,
Christ, yes,
yeah, I'm
yes.
specifically talking about Buddy Christ because I'm from the the land of, I would say, conservatives, and that people in their Bibles, like they get mad, and if you say something like you say the word God, they like punch you or something. I'd be like, why are you hitting me? It's like, well, you just do the name's God's name in vain. I'm like, well, then why would you touch me?
Yeah,
It's like there's not a lesson to be learned. There's no spite of it. And I'm like, that's so to me when I see that, I just like, and I'm not atheist or anything. I don't care. I just think it's just the fact that
you drink Dr. Pepper with your family.
actually we only have Dr. Pepper in my household. We don't know what it is, but it's all I allow is Dr. Pepper, all 23 flavors. I'm agnostic. We don't know what we don't know what it is. Does it exist? Does it not? What is this? Is it Coke? Is it a soda? Is it a beverage? What is this? I need to watch that episode. It's been so long since I've seen that episode. And by the way, I have to ask you a personal question.
Yes.
Did you make me a little HBO CJ icon?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I sure
Thank
did.
you. Thank you. Okay. I thought that.
Yeah.
You did.
Well, it just to be quite honest, I was just like, you keep on watching the rest of what I was watching. And I was like, here's your own little playground there, CJ.
I was like, I don't remember making this, and then
Yeah.
I think I remember saying, and then I think you saying, okay.
Well,
I
you're
think-
using it, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm using it
Okay.
now. I'm using it now because I was like, I think you made that because I didn't make that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Hard Knocks. I haven't watched that.
And then also you're right. I didn't mean to. I was finishing. I was like, let's see where Ben's at this. I was
Yeah.
like, finishing.
How was Freaky, by the way?
Oh man, I'll say that it's good.
Yeah.
And Vince Vaughn's our boy. There's a scene there that's a little awkward. It's supposed to be, I thought it was supposed to be funny, but they went more with the more serious settle instead of the funny part. But it's still a great movie. I would recommend it.
Well, should we do it side by side?
We should figure out a way to get there.
We could do Vince Vaughn in horror movies and do them in Psycho and Freaky.
Oh man. Oh, that sounds good. Hold on. What's up, Papa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you know what I just noticed on this time around with Dogma? Okay, so whenever they're going down the not the escalator, but the moving thing, you see that nun that he was talking to, like drinking a beer and stuff.
Yeah, because he hit her with reality.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing. That's the thing about it. That's what he made her a believer in life, and not just the book. Because she's over here talking, prophesying the book, and this, and he's like, "No, check this out," and he's contradicting everything she says, and then he's giving her her own mindset. Her own, like that's you have
It's
your
like
own ideas.
and that's another thing too. Is like, man, you mentioned like mocking religion and everything. Like this movie totes that line so well. Of like, there's a human law that makes it to where that God could be infallible, so angels are taking advantage of this.
Yeah.
It's almost like finding contradictions in faith and then exploiting them. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do with the Bible.
They do. No, they do. I no, there are a lot of people that do that.
Everybody's like, this is the loophole and everything like that.
Well, it's
like,
also there's a what's his name, Flanagan. I can't remember his name. What's his name? Flanagan.
Walter Flanagan.
Walter Flanagan. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the song right now. he's on the screen. I'll tell you this much. With I'm sorry. He's being. I mean, like I said, I haven't hung out with my son. I really because,
Yeah.
he's
No,
basically
like I
now
said,
he's.
I went back to watch that scene with the nun to see if there was anything else. Uh, but no, she's just drinking and then acting all crazy.
Yeah,
Oh
and
man.
and it's in this movie like it does tote, but it's not really like it's not. I mean, it's offending if you want to get offended.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it's not poking at anything. And I'll tell you this: I remembered when I first watched this movie. It was on my house in Rose Avenue, and it was playing at on like HBO. And the first opening scene, and I caught me was that opening scene with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and that's why I watched this whole movie, and I realized, holy crap, it's good. And then you get Salma Hayek, and you get Chris Rock, and it just keeps you. And then you have Jay and Silent Bob in the whole thing, and you're like,
Yeah.
and I wasn't a big Jay and Silent Bob fan back then, but I was aware of them. I'm like, oh crap, they're in this movie. This movie's so serious.
So, do you think that you know Jay and Silent Bob and Clerks too, right?
Yeah,
And how they're saved and everything. Do you
yeah.
think that's after this? God touches Jay, and you know
Well,
maybe
hey, hey,
that's
hey, hey, hey. He's talking about the Holy and Bible. Because I got the kid here, so yeah, he's like, you know what I mean, like that's I mean
yeah.
that's a good I think you're
Because I
right.
mean, like
I
Jay
think
has
absolutely.
he's been touched by God, literally. That's pretty cool. Like, and he it's the same Jay throughout the entire Views universe.
Yeah, he never changes.
Uh, yeah, never changes. Ben Affleck changes. He's never bald or be again, but he also dies at the end, so he can't be. You know,
Yeah.
and so that means that his character in Mallrats looks like an angel. Maybe that's why they
The
chose Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I mean, they are arguably good looking for their time.
but man, oh yeah, no, they're handsome
Well, and
guys.
also too, they had their own little indie movie that ended up, you know, going
Which movie? Which one are you talking
Goodwill
about?
Hunting.
Oh, that movie. So I don't know why he's just it's when
I love that part where they get in the elevator and they're like, "We'll just kill a bunch of people," and she spits it out. I was like, "Well, not you." Like you just like that
yeah,
makes it even better.
nonchalantly like the way he does
Yeah,
it.
he's just laughing about it. I really like our introduction to Bethany as well. Like she's sitting in church, you see everybody just kind of messing around, and then the priest is just up there, just like he doesn't really care if anybody's listening. It's just like he's doing his own thing
He's
too, you
going
know?
through the motions and
Yeah.
just kind of just like this is church. And I'll be honest with you, I honestly thought like church was a place where adults went to get in trouble. I thought it was like ISS or something. I was serious. I was like, this sucks. Growing up, you got to come here when you get in trouble. And then once my parents divorced, and I was like, oh, no more church. Oh, there's a positive in this whole thing. Like, okay, that's a
Right?
good thing. Like the first thing you stop doing.
Hey, hey, you there, CJ?
Yeah, I'm here. It's that my Max is like right up on me, and he shouldn't be trying to hang. I'm trying to give him space, but it's like I said, he wants to go play. We've been we've been playing outside all week and just doing stuff. So being inside for him is probably different from right now. But it's okay. Keep going, keep
Yeah.
going.
No, no. And then you immediately go to the abortion clinic. And then you even see God's face on the newspaper. That's pretty crazy. They had the John Doe. So I wonder if God like created a new body and then went down there, or what's the deal there? I wonder how that works.
Well, like how he picked them. How do you like to make him? Yeah, did God pick like a
Well, I
normal
mean,
ball?
did he just? I mean, he could create anything. Like that's what watching this time is just like how strange everything is.
Yeah.
Like, so you have the Metatron, who is Alan Rickman, and he comes and tells you that there's going to be two prophets, and it turns out that they're Jay and Silent Bob. And so you're following Jay and Silent Bob around because they are this key to going to New Jersey. And it's like you have to follow, like you have to pick up clues and you have to go on faith and everything. It's a very interesting journey too. And then you have the apostle fall out of the sky. He's dead, but he's not living. I love that. It's like, know him. He owes me $12.
Yeah,
Like,
the old Chris Rock jokes.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Like, I thought that was hilarious. Also, whenever the skaters like cut open, a little thing and then jump in it and then seal it back up, like reality is not the same to these beings. Like even Serendipity is saying like she was intangible. So I don't know, man. Like after watching Soul and everything like that, that's what I see Serendipity as. Is
Oh, okay.
like a intangible, like not of this world, but can inhabit human beings and stuff like that. It's just a very interesting way to look at reality whenever they can bend it in different ways. Uh, so I thought that was kind of interesting this go around.
But just
Th-
the way the story is told too, when
yeah,
they're going through during like the other Mexican restaurant, he's explaining the whole story. Just the way he tells the story, like just it's a nice. I don't know. It's pleasurable to watch the
yes,
movie.
and Jason Lee does a great job of being a bad guy. And he's like the one steering all this, and you really like you don't really know that until he
the
kind of
end.
explains it.
Yeah.
Like you can kind of it like watching it again, you're like, okay, that makes sense. Like you see him pop up. Um, but yeah, it's not until he actually explains everything that you really kind of get what's going on. It's like I'd rather not exist than be in hell.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
And I mean, there's just a lot of there's a lot of like I mean Jeff Anderson comes back as the gun salesman. He has a small little role.
Yeah.
I like the I don't know this movie. It's a comedy. It's based off religion. It's a story off religion. It's got a bunch of great actors in it, and they all play their characters. You're right. The Alan Rickman is just a nice touch on this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's a great like his personality for this movie works perfect. Like the way he comes off, because it's like you're right. You said it for Die Hard and what we said because this is like our fourth Alan Rickman movie in a row.
Yeah.
And he does have a commanding voice, a presence, and the way he does it. I mean, we've seen him go from Galaxy Quest where he's underappreciated, and then we see him go into what do you call it? Galaxy Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where he's depressed,
Yeah.
and then you go into Die Hard where he's this, like monster mastermind, and then we have him here in Dogma where he's kind of those three combined, where he's
Yeah.
kind of like I'm a master, but come on, I don't want to have to explain this to you. Come on, you should pick up on this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if he was, well, I don't know, it doesn't matter. It's how it works for you and how relevant you are to knowledge. And I feel like he's already known all this stuff, and now he's having to explain to her, and he's like, again, and he's
Yeah.
drinking. They're having no privates. They can't. Like he's like,
I
is he
thought that
really?
was always funny.
It,
Um, and so one cool thing about and how does she not just believe this after he turns the baseball bat into a fish?
uh-huh.
Like that's another thing too is like the Alan Rickman can turn anything into anything. Like he has control over reality. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Oh.
he can create what something entirely like going to the Mexican restaurant. Like
Yeah.
what time are they over there? Like could he just change the time that they were and that where they were? Did he go into the past? He can go into the future. He can do all that stuff. I think that's interesting. I wouldn't you think he could like the past and the future? Or would that
I
kind
think
of
so
screw
too.
everything? Would that screw everything up?
Well,
Because he would just know how the story went. But
that's what I'm saying.
he does know he does have the foresight enough to not tell Bethany that she's the last scion, and that could just come with like um, you know mentoring Jesus and everything like that. He knows how he already did that with a young boy. Like he if he can coach a young boy into being Jesus and get him to believe that, then
Yeah.
surely he can do it to Bethany.
And
So
I think that's the whole thing about and that's the thing. This whole movie is wrapped around with something serious.
yeah,
This is so such a serious like um like topic, and yet it's so cool that really there's actually something cool about it that he can actually that he can talk. I mean that Kevin Smith talks about something he was really religious.
yeah.
So this is just something kind of him getting back his version
Well,
of
it's
it.
it's it's him trying to understand how all this works. You know, That's really what this movie is like. Oh, okay, it works this way. All right, so we have to follow these laws. Okay, okay. Well, the Metatron has to, like
Yeah.
everything. Like you don't know the choirs of angels. Like it feels like all this stuff was lost too. Like all this knowledge was initially given, but lost somewhere in everything, or just forgotten, or uh, nobody cared anymore. Nobody really believed it. So I think
Yeah.
that's another cool thing about this movie too. Is like it's all about belief. Like you believe that God is real. You believe all this stuff. Okay, well, if God goes comes down and does skee ball, then oh, here's an idea. I'll go
That's kind
unplug this guy.
that's
You
kind
know?
of that's kind of crazy. Like God is playing in his own like playground that he made. You know,
Yeah,
like he yeah, like that's like it's like you making a modeled car and it being like I want to drive it, so I'm gonna make myself a miniature and give it let it work and make it running. Kind of like Indian in the covering.
yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even then, at the very beginning, like he's just standing there looking at the waves coming in. Like arguably one of the prettiest things you can see is like a sunset on the ocean, stuff like that. So that's what he's
Yeah.
like staring off into before he gets to play skee ball.
And and this is also a big thing because the whole thing about what do you call it?
And that's another thing too, is like throughout the movie, I can't remember where, it's probably close to the end, that says, oh, he's a big skee ball fan, like, and then that, if you were paying attention at the beginning, that should
Yeah.
click, you know.
Yeah. It
And
doesn't.
that's, yeah, but it's probably not until the second viewing, especially coming into a Kevin Smith movie, like you're
Yeah.
just like, uh yeah,
No,
it's
you're right. You're right. It's the answer is like right in front of you. You have to watch it again. Um, you know, Bethany's character going through the loss of it, going through getting left by her husband through the loss of a child is something I'm pretty sure happen a lot and is common in this country. And the fact that, or just in general, and I think the fact that that happened to her, that's her spite, I guess, or the reason she doesn't believe. But she goes through all this hell, and she basically becomes a believer.
yeah.
But she has to go basically through hell to become a believer. And it is funny when you get the because they try to stop her right away, but then you get the apostles show up, Jay and Silent Bob, and there really is no reason for them to be there other than like they just randomly show up, like it's like they're not meant to be in Dogma, but because they're part of the view skew, they're in it.
Well, yeah, and they're the prophets, bro.
Yeah, or the
they're
prophets.
they're the ones bringing the wise word without knowing it. Like they,
Yeah,
that's that's what's so cool about Jay and Silent Bob, is they have divine purpose, you know.
yeah.
No,
They,
but
but the way they come in, they beat up the henchman. They do
dude,
it all
and did
cool.
you did you hear, like, whenever Jay was talking about what they were doing in Mallrats? Did you catch that?
Oh yeah, 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 yes. That they're doing this.
Yeah, it was whenever they were on the train with Loki and Bartleby.
Yeah,
They were telling Loki about them and Mallrats. Yeah.
yeah. They brought it back, so that's why. I mean, it's always like almost the same date, but it is kind of funny, right? Like these two like morons are the in society's point would be like a bunch of dumbasses, low lives, but then
Yeah.
you get there, they're like actually powerful, pure beings because I mean, think about it, they are who they are. They're not faking it, they're not changing it.
And Silent Bob talks twice in this movie. He says
No
thanks at the
ticket.
end. Yeah, and then clear Indiana Jones reference. Love it.
Oh, the no tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whenever in the Last Crusade and he throws the guy off the blimp, no ticket, and then everybody hands their tickets up.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's pick at that real quick because since we're talking about that, Kevin Smith put an homage of which they think for Indiana Jones. Excuse me. Look at this. The movie Restaurant's Playground was created especially for the movie. It is shaped like a giant meat grinder, which
That's
is great because
hilarious.
I went to movies. I went there 3 times.
Was it shaped like a giant meat grinder?
No, I couldn't, but it was in downtown Austin. I enjoyed it. I had a great time. Like I said, that play that
Hold on, we're having a Peppa Pig question over here.
Okay.
You Peppa Pig? Do you want Peppa Pig? Yes or no? No, too late. I joke around about him. No, Peppa Pig. I was like, I don't know, because I always think Peppa Pig. They speak all proper. It's an English show, and
Yeah.
they speak all proper. And I'm like, well,
This
what about?
this America. All right.
Well, my thing is, yeah, I'm more about the balance. Like, not all English people talk like that. We're the Cockney ones. We're the what you want? We're coming over here. Like, I like where
Well,
those.
we don't have Boston people on our Sesame Street, so it's a,
Whose city?
what are you doing out there? Yeah. And
So
what do you say? We don't have people from Appalachia over there talking like we have the nice, prim and proper.
Yeah, and that's
You
what
know?
and that's a prime example. This has just happened to be an accident, but like in Jay and Silent Bob's world, to me, I think they're honest and not, and they're genuine people. And then people be like, "Ew, those people are vulgar." Same thing with Peppa Pig. Why can't we have another voice? Why are they all sound? I know they all don't sound like that. So if you're gonna try to modernize me in America, then just do it evenly. But the movie's restaurant, it was it created. I think for this movie. I think movies is the original Dogma's the original movie, and it kind of kept going. I mean, Clerks 2, they're in it. They're actually full blown in it. There's a Kinky Kelly and the sexy stud. That whole scene happens, and I think the fact that movie that movies is always a thing, and then Kevin Smith was actually bringing it into reality, which was really cool, because I think honestly with what do you call it, going to the movies, it's definitely a gimmick. It's definitely like it can be expensive if you just kind of think you're gonna get a regular burger and fries and a shake or something. You're gonna spend like $25. But I live in Austin, where a burger and fried shake at McDonald's costs $25, so I didn't see no difference, man. I paid $8 more to get a Kevin Smith burger. I'm cool with that. And by the way, yeah, I'm starting to really poke at my city. So if I start venting off on Austin, then yeah, we'll get there eventually. I have a feeling I have something to pop out in front of me. But anyways, I did like the fact that he was able to do something like that, and make it come alive. Now look at like you said earlier, Kevin Smith wrote the screenplay before he wrote Clerks, 1994, but shelved it because he wanted to do it with proper visuals. He didn't have the funding for it yet. And then he did 3 other movies to get it, and he got it. And then, as we were talking about how he did the Indiana Jones homage, look at this. Kevin Smith pursued Robert Rodriguez to direct the film. Robert Rodriguez enjoyed the script, but in seeing how personal the story was, and insisted that Smith himself directed it. So that's insane. That's literally like one independent guy telling another independent guy, like, do your own movie, And which I've actually had somebody tell me that. But I had a director tell me, dude, you're a director. Shut the hell up. Are you serious? I was like, you gonna help me with with a project? He goes, nah, dude, you already know what you're doing. Just do it. Don't bother me with your nonsense. Is what he told me, jokingly. And then but that was kind of him telling me, like, you gotta believe in yourself to do your own thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I was like, oh, if you directed it, I like your 2 shorts. Like, yeah, but this is yours. You make it. It's too, and plus your short's too short. Like, I don't want to invest all this time in this short. I was like, yeah, you're right. But the hoods, now this is pretty cool. The hood's worn around the neck of the 3 angels in the film. Metatron, Alec Rickman, Bartleby, Ben Affleck, and Loki, Matt Damon, represent their halos. It's a modern twist,
Interesting. Yeah.
Modern time. Here we go. Kevin Smith gave himself a puppeteer. Oh, see, this is the cagada. This is the part where Kevin Smith, I think he just goes a little. He's playing around, but I think goes a little too far. Kevin Smith gave himself puppeteer credits under the name Kevin P. Smith. This was for helping out with the handling of the wings in various scenes. So all he had to do was just hold the wing and say action, and he gave himself credit for that. That's a funny one. Oh, here it is. I actually highlighted it, but I didn't pay attention. First appearance of Movies Restaurant in Kevin Smith film, something that becomes a recurring establishment in the future Viewski films. Yeah,
Sure does.
so that's a cool thing for us as we're just talking about movies and life and going. And then, I mean, the whole story, like, this is a journey story, and that's another thing. Freaking Jay and Silent Bob, they basically just do journey stories when they're outside of the View Askew. So when they're in Clerks, they're in Clerks. When they're in Mallrats, when they're Clerks, they're at the Quick Stop. When they're at Mallrats, they're at the mall. When they're in Chasing Amy, they only have that one scene at the cafe. But then you bring them on their own movie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. They go from Red Bank, New Jersey, all the way to L.A., Hollywood. And then you do Reboot. They did the same thing almost.
Yeah.
Dogma is the same thing. They go from one part to the next, and they're trying to intersect the two angels. So Kevin Smith, like he writes different movies, but he definitely writes like a journey movie pretty well. This movie.
Did you see the trivia? Jason Mewes had the entire script memorized before rehearsals. When asked why, he said it was because he didn't want to anger Alan Rickman, and because Kevin Smith took him aside before rehearsals and began and said he needed to be on his best behavior and bring his A game to the set.
Yeah, I just found the Scott Mosier in the bus making out scene. So there's Scott Mosier, and the thing is, that's when Jay Mewes is going through his addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is the first script that he memorized to show Kevin Smith that he was serious, because up until then, the story is it, and I'm new to all this, is that Jay Mewes was battling addiction in the Clerks. He was battling addiction in Chasing Amy, Mallrats. And he was still doing that up until Clerks 2. He had to memorize. He had to memorize. Sorry, it's one of his things I taught him with the snow flute. He had to memorize all of Clerks 2 to show him that he was serious, that he was gonna, So Jay Mewes memorizes the whole movie, and there stories of her. There were times where they ask Jay, like they'll ask him for what do you call it? The scene, the line, the script, because he already has it in his head.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they also considered Adam Sandler for the role of Azrael. That would have been interesting.
Oh my God! Instead of Jason Lee,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Jason Lee's one of his. I like him.
I do too. He does a good
and that one.
job.
But Adam Sandler, would Adam Sandler be all serious, or would he be going, "What did he do"? We all know the Adam Sandler guy. So, what was it? Is that something?
I think he could have played that role very well. And he did. I think he could have done that little Nicky if he wanted to, but he went the other way.
Little Nicky, yeah. Release the good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's a good one. Adam Sandler's always a
Was
good
that
one.
99 or 2000?
I believe that is 99, dude. That might actually be 2000. Actually, Little Nicky's 2000, but I think it's close. It's like it was cusp of 99,
Yeah, it was 2000.
Yeah, I remember it was like. Sorry if that gets annoying. Let me know because
No, you're good.
it's his little thing where he likes to blow and point.
November 10th, 2000.
Yeah, it's almost 2001. No, but yeah, it was close. But that's still, man, I love Little Nicky. I remember I saw that one 2 or 3 times at the movie theater, and I saw Die Hard at the Dollar Theater, which when you watch Die Hard in the theater, it makes like a huge. And I saw it at the Dollar Theater, so it's like run down. But when you get that theatric feel, it feels. I was like, wow, I didn't see it when I was younger, but man, I like the fact that I get to watch it now.
Right. Well, if it ever comes, I may check it out. Like I said, I bet you it just sounds even better.
I think I might have messed up my headphones. I put the Buddy Christ magnet on them, and I was playing with it, and I realized, oh, never mind, this will work. Cool.
All right, good.
I was like, oh, I put my headphones on the Buddy Christ. I forgot there's a magnet. Magnet's not good at that. Anyways, Dogma with the Jay and Silent Bob characters, they give you that still that youth, that innocence of going through like life, and then you get these other characters. Is this Chris Rock? This is the first time we have him on here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
There's a lot of great Chris Rock movies. I think Chris Rock was ahead of his time with a lot of the his stand up, a lot of his movies.
Head of State. I mean, Down to Earth. Those movies really flew under the radar.
Have you
they
ever
were
seen
fantastic.
CB4?
What is it?
CB4. Have you ever seen that? Cell Block.
No.
4? Okay, so I believe it's early 90s. It might be 80s, but he exploits the rap game. It's a parody on the rap game, and he exploits it, man. He plays Eazy-E kind of ish character in the movie, and it's funny. It's pretty funny. I don't know if you ever seen that song that they make where I don't want to ruin it. The song was funny, but it's they make a parody of a rap song, and it's basically a black guy going, "I'm black and I'm black and I'm black," and it's funny like the way the movie is, but the way that the satire and the parody of this movie just feels kind of real. And if you watch it now, you're like, oh wow, we actually do that now. Like he kind of predicted a little bit. Chris Rock, like I would like to really explain. Like Head of State's a great one, and then even Booty Tang, man. Even though Louis C.K. wrote that,
but
Yeah.
I think he produced it. If I'm not
Dude,
mistaken.
the longest yard. I loved him in that, man.
Yeah, what's his name? Gardner, or is the I think that's his name or
Uh,
something.
b-
Keeper,
yeah, caretaker.
caretaker. There you go. I
Yeah.
got close.
He was recently in Spiral. Uh,
Yeah, I have not seen that one, but
Me either.
I heard great things.
Yeah. Let's see here. Grown Ups. That's another good one. Yeah. Nope. Our first time having Chris Brock over
Do
here
we
on Dub.
do we want to go through the repeat offenders of the VSQ, or do we just know they're in there because
Oh, we
hopefully
know
we
they're
get
in there.
Brian
You
Johnson.
know, I, Jay's hat says Snoogans. I love it.
I need to
But
get that hat.
I don't think he says it the entire time in this one.
I don't think he does he? He
No.
doesn't really get.
Mm-mm.
So I'm gonna mute. I'm
He's
right here.
he's
I'm
really
listening.
not he's really not his like normal just like crazy Jay self. He's more of like pushing the story along Jay, you know?
Yeah, like
Uh
that. That's what I was saying. It's like he's not the main. He's not the main he's not the main like character, but he's a good like he's that character.
yeah, whatever they're driving down. Gear like pull over.
Yeah, he's driving standard. He's in first gear the whole time.
Oh man. And then the bus that goes by. Imagine if they had been on that bus, you know? Then
Yeah.
then they would have just it would have been even worse. But yeah. That's the coincidences in this movie too are just crazy. I wonder how far away so she was in Illinois, they were in Wisconsin. So I wonder how far that is. Why couldn't they just fly?
They
They
don't have money. Was that the thing?
Oh, maybe.
I
Maybe
think they brought
or
it up.
maybe they don't have IDs or something.
Something like that. I forgot. There was something. It was something. It was a throwaway line that says that. But
Yeah, or
even
maybe
when is it not? It's not. Is it? No, it's not Bartleby. It's Loki shoots Scott Mosier in the bus. I was like, that's kind of funny, right? Like you shoot the producer that made the
yeah.
movie. Hold on, let me see. This little boy of mine is. We only got like a few more 30 more minutes, but
Yeah.
he's
Wow,
restless.
man, it's already 2 hours.
Yeah, dude.
Good gracious. Yeah, dude, we need to finish up on Dogma because we've only just been kind of going
Well,
on that, dude.
I mean,
Like,
this has been a pretty good episode so far.
yeah, no,
just
the
fun.
shit demon scares the hell out of me. I just want to bring that up. It is a constant worry whenever I go to the bathroom and take a terrible, terrible poop.
You know what? I'm scared of snakes coming out of the toilet. That's the one. The shit demon. I'm like, yeah, you're my.
I
shit,
know,
dude.
I know. Yeah, I know it's just like not plausible, but it is like one of those things that I saw because I saw this whenever I was like 8 or 9. And so it was just one of those things that kind of stuck with me. And especially whenever he splatters it all over the back of the wall, like I was like, oh, I bet you
Oh,
that smells terrible.
I was
Dude.
with you on that. If a shit demon ever came out of my toilet, I'd be like, okay, I'm okay with you. The snake would scare me. Like a shit demon, I feel like I could kind of just get away. I just don't know what would it do. Would it smother you if it gets a hold of you? Just
I don't
smothers
know,
you
man.
with
It's,
shit?
it's a demon. Like I don't know. It was shooting shit out of its arms. Like I think Jay or Silent Bob's solution to it is fantastic. So it knocks out strong odors. Like that's
Yeah.
great, man.
He kind of has like a Batman thing there where he has like a utility belt that he just pulls out anything and he has
Yeah.
that.
Well, and I love it. Wasn't like you just like you zoom in on it, says knock out strong orders. You know, it wasn't like that kind of thing. It was like Bethany looks at it after the fact. You know.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, dude, this movie is it's fantastic. The dialogue in it is great. Um, yeah, it's just it's one of those movies. Okay, so I have a question for you. And I
Shoot.
just it just may be that I am not literate in some of this stuff. Whenever they get off the bus and and Matt Damon's like, "Whose house?" I said, "Ron's house." What's that about? What do you know?
Whose
Is it just saying it's like,
house?
did I call it?
Uh,
Is that like he won the
Well,
bet kind of thing?
that's a View Skew thing. Remember in Chasing Amy, that's what they open the song up when they go to the Comic Con. Whose house?
Ah,
Ron's house.
okay,
It's in there. It's in that scene. And Matt Damon's also in Chasing Amy.
yeah,
So he's a small role there, and he comes out with Brandon Holleran. But I mean, I think for the fact that I think we're both Texas boys, and Let me see what he's getting whiny. I don't want to bother people.
Yeah.
Hold on, me just keep it going.
No, this next scene that's coming up, they're it's Jay and Silent Bob and Bethany, and it's like dudes like us just don't fall out of the sky, you know. And then Chris Rock falls out of the sky. And then Jay says, "Beautiful naked big titty bitches don't just fall out of the sky, you know." Just hoping to get that. Again. That's that's one of those jokes that just is always a winner. I think you can always get away with it just because it's so damn funny, man. Like it's one of those classics. Um, but this is the introduction of Chris Rock as the 13th apostle. Rufus, the 13th apostle, uh, omitted from the history books uh, because was it? I think it was because he was black. And yeah, man, just love Chris Rock in this role. Uh, he he just plays the character so good, man alive. This movie though, man, is just a ah, it's such a good satire. It does so good of yeah, I really I would not consider this movie offensive. You know, if you were deeply religious and it questioned some of your core beliefs, possibly, but even then it acknowledges there's a God. I mean, it acknowledges that, you know, there are other things. I mean, there's hell, there's heaven, there's angels, it does all
Back.
that. So it's almost like reinforcing what you believe in, just taking a different spin on it or um really kind of questioning some of the rules of it. Uh, but yeah, I was just talking about Chris Rock coming in as Rufus. I love
Yeah.
that line. I love that line that Jay says, like right after he falls too. It's like, "Beautiful big titty bitches don't fall from the sky," you
Oh
know.
yeah.
It's just like he's really
Yeah.
hoping to get that again.
I think
Um,
I think for man, what I was saying, it kind of threw me off. I needed to put Pete the cat on. That's what he wanted. So
ah,
I was
good
getting
old
it
Pete.
wrong. I was putting on Pedro el perro, and he was like, no, that was Pete the cat. I was like, okay, Pete the dog in Spanish. But I think with us being like Texas natives and Texas guys and religion being kind of like in our face a lot growing up. Not so much. I don't feel like it's so much these days, but
No,
I feel like the fact that being like Kevin Smith was able to find the way of that, find that religion that enough where we know, but it doesn't go full religion where you have to know it, and then it has enough comedy, enough cinema where it blends really nice. I mean, even the scene where Loki kills all he like Beelzebub lets Loki kill the CEOs, like that's a lot of meta in there. Like by this point, Kevin Smith has had so many issues with producers and
hmm
but people, he's just kind of like this scene is just in here just to kill them because they're the most vicious people, vile people ever.
yeah, you know, and they're just terrible. Like I said, it's like there's not a decent human being among you except for you. You're an
Uh,
innocent, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
didn't say bless you whenever I sneezed.
yeah. That's funny. Like, and I mean that's the thing about this movie. Like it's got a lot. It's shot well. It's class of '99. This is a graduate. That's we're proud of. I mean everybody from that class.
Yeah,
But when I look at it like as in this movie, just seeing like the Ben Affleck and where he's gone with his career is pretty cool, and the fact that he's always wanted to act and like Ben and Kevin, he basically Ben Affleck had to play that role in Mallrats to get the other roles, and he went and did it.
so I just noticed that one of the skaters had a Hellboy shirt on. Thought that was pretty funny.
Comic. I want
Yeah.
to know. I want to know if
Well,
all these.
also he's a that
Oh, he's
character's a
from
boy
Hell.
of hell. Yeah.
Yeah, boy of hell. I wonder who these people are. Like sometimes Kevin Smith movies, I wonder who, if they get actors or did they get friends to play the people in the suits and all that. Like who do you?
Who was the shit demon? That's what I want to know.
Let's find.
Like
Is
whenever
there is there a shit? Can we look that up? I want to know.
so and another thing too is like just that scene where he's walking out and you just see that shit just oozing off of him. That was disgusting, dude.
Oh
Like
God,
they
you can
just
smell it.
yeah, no man, like they did a really good job of making that terrible.
I wonder if I can find the shit demon actor. I hope we give him mad props.
Yeah,
You were the
he went.
shit, man, in Dogma.
He
He was like,
went
man,
through
I
a
was
lot of
shit.
shit though. Yeah,
I
right.
mean, how about Alanis Morissette as God?
Yeah, I wonder if she's gonna pop back up in the Views universe.
Probably. I mean, it says Ethan Suplee is in it, and it's just a voice though. No man, it says his voice is in it.
Really?
Yeah, I just got that. I just saw that. Oh, Ming Chen is in it, but he's a club patron. I think he was like an extra. Ernie O'Dowd is on it. He's a reporter. Frank Dur, or what's his name? The dude, who's he play? Rick Durst. Freaking Ernie O'Neill. Oh, look, it says Gwyneth Paltrow, woman at airport. I think Ben Affleck and her were friends or dating at the time.
Damn, Gwyneth Paltrow's in this?
Yeah, it says woman at airport. It says Gwyneth Paltrow.
Wow, she's a repeat offender.
Yeah, I know. Oh, hell, look at that. Without even, I have to do a little digging, but I'm looking for the shit monster.
I don't see him on here, dude.
I don't. We didn't know who the shit is in Dogma. I mean, they're all the
Reporter.
shit, but you need to see
It could also be the Golgathon or something like that. Yeah.
Look what Scott Moser's name is. Munching Seaman. He was just making out in the.
Kane. King's. Yeah, dude, I'm getting to the top and I don't see it. Protest for
Well,
one.
well, we're there then.
Damn, that you don't give him credit? Come on,
I want to give him credit. I don't know who it is.
we need to find out.
I'm going to find out. Actually, why don't we just finish watching Dogma and talk about it? Because this is such a great movie.
Yeah, right.
Why don't we just watch it on air? We're doing like a live stream watching of Dogma.
Kind of are. I gotta play it. I own it on Blu-ray. Got it for whenever it wasn't $42 on Amazon.
I paid $23 for my Japanese version.
Jesus, dude. Actually, I could probably go back and see because there was a time that I was just buying movies up on Blu-ray, and it was like that prime time of Blu-ray.
Do you know
Like
what's
it was
crazy?
cheap.
That
It was cheap, but not too cheap.
I went through one of those phases a couple years ago too. I'm still in it, but like you're right. There's some times where I'm just like, these are all cheap. I need to get them. Like
Yeah.
it's affordable. Why not? You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, let's see here.
Oh man, I love. I mean, Dogma is just one of those movies I don't want to watch all the time. Only I like to save it. You know. I mean, I just saw it like 2 months ago. Oh, we got a repeat offender for Mallrats. Oh man, what's it? His name's Hooper in Mallrats. I mean, no, he's in Chasing Amy. Is he in Mallrats? No, he's not. He's sorry, Chasing Amy's Hooper. So we'll see him again. He's the gangster guy. He's the lead.
Oh
like,
yeah. I know who you're talking about.
yeah. Is there a deputy scene? Yeah, that's him. He's a. Oh God, let me say his name before I don't know it off the top of my head. He's got a nice name too. Let's see.
Let's see here, man.
Oh, we got some Pete the Cat going down over here. Heck yes.
Hey.
Let's see. I always forget his name. What is it? Let's see. Where are you at? Hooper. I like that from Jaws. Hooper.
Hooper.
Apparently, the Hooper comes out. The Jaws Hooper comes out in freaking Piranha 3D. Richard Dreyfuss'
Really?
character. Yeah, he comes out and he dies, and it's what do you call it? It's the same. He's supposed to play Hooper from the White Ewell. That's his name.
Oh, let's see here.
But he's in Dogma, but I don't think he has a photo. There it is. Kane is his name.
Kane.
Yeah.
Let's see
Yeah, great actor. I think he's only been. I think the last time he acted was like in 2014. Oh, here I am, the shit monster.
Oh, did you find him?
Yeah, no. I'm looking at the scene. It just starts blowing up. Like he gets up and it starts coming out. Like, what he does, the shit monster actually does kill those gangbangers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he does it in one swoop hit where you see him and then you just hear it and you see it and they're all messed up.
Damn, man.
Maybe
I didn't get it off. Maybe I bought it at Hastings. Maybe that's where I saw
Hastings.
it. Because I'm not seeing it. I could have told you how much I paid. If I bought it at Hastings, I probably paid like $6 for it. Because they had deals go on to where they had like the $5 section sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I
I
just go that. That may be where I thought I ordered it offline because, dude, I was just looking through like there's a time that I got like Step Brothers. I got all these movies that I had probably had on DVD. I just didn't have. It's like in 2015. Let's see here. Let's see what all I bought. Oh, well, actually, in 2015, I bought the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1 and Phase 2. But they're never going to have a Phase 3 because they're stopped. That was like an Amazon exclusive,
yeah.
and it's like doubled in price now. It's crazy. Uh, uh, I think I paid like 200 for it. It's like $600 now.
Wow, man. See,
Um,
that's why I need to go hunting for that stuff.
yeah, man. But I mean, it was just like one of those things that I was like real. I was like, okay, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is something that is going to continue on. So I want to get something that I can, uh, you know, have that I know that's going to be made on a consistent basis. I thought they were going to continue on with it, but they did not. Let's see here. I got the Hangover trilogy, History of the World Part One, Moulin Rouge, The Sandlot, Step Brothers, Birdman on Blu-ray
Are
that
you looking up
year.
something, or do you have them in your hands?
What's that?
Do you have them in your hands, or are you looking up something?
No, I'm looking it up on Amazon.
Oh,
I also
the
got Old
are you
School, Slam and Salmon, and Everybody Wants Some.
are you talking about you? Oh, you're looking at your old previous purchases.
Yeah,
That's
man.
so
That was
cool.
back that was like 2016. I just went crazy on buying even more Blu-ray that I was like, "Oh, let me see how cheap they are." And dude, I think the most I paid for it was like $10 on any of
Okay.
those. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no, man. Yeah, I'm in the Blu-ray game too, but I'm also still, man, dude. I'll be honest with you. I'm DVD. You know, y'all guys got me into Blu-ray. Excuse me, but sorry, but I'll say what do you call it? I'm VHS, man.
oh no, man, if I no, I don't think so. I don't think I can go back. I will continue to well if I see there's a notable difference between something, then I will upgrade to it. Like 4K, just I don't see it.
Yeah.
But but I'm also not going to go digital either. Like I like having physical copies of something. So,
Yes.
um, you know, I think I do have one 4K movie, but that's The Wizard of Oz. And if I ever get a 4K TV and everything, which I eventually will, and maybe I'll get it, hook it up, and be like, wow, this is so much better. And I just really haven't seen the difference before. But dude, I remember whenever my sister got her like HD TV, and it was like a Samsung, and it was like the top of the line and everything. Like it legitimately made a difference.
Yeah.
Like it added depth. Like you could see. Like I remember she was watching Julia, that one with Meryl Streep and Amy Adams,
Yeah.
and like it looked like you were looking through a window. Like I it was amazing. And
Did
that was like 2009,
you just
2008.
did you say Julia Gulia?
Yeah,
That's
Julia
funny.
Gulia.
How's that funny? That's what he's
You
here.
know,
Sorry. No, but you're right, dude. Like, I think for 4K, it's going a little too far. Maybe it's time. I mean, I don't see them slowing down. I see
but
them just keep.
yeah, I don't see I just see it being all online eventually, and I don't want to see
No,
that.
I don't want that either.
I want to know what like I feel like we're coming to the end of that. Like 4K, it may not be the last one, but it's getting close.
I don't know. Honestly think people want to have the because it might not be for us, but I think I see people that I know or just in general what I'm gathering is they want to wear the glasses inside to get the full 3D experience. They want to have all that stuff. They want to be disconnected. They want to have the sunglasses that you put on that are 3D that block out noise because you can hear like you're in the world. So they're gonna focus on that, especially where the Marvel's going and especially the way Disney. I feel Disney really wants to go digital because what can they do? They can go back and make if they find something that's offensive or something, they can go back and delete it. They could go
Hmm.
back and you have your hard copy, and they don't want you to have that hard copy. They want you to delete it. So,
Yeah,
whatever. Like, I mean, you cannot like say you can't make DVDs anymore. They want to sell. People are always gonna want DVDs.
yeah.
So DVDs are here to stay. The market, but I honestly think like you're right. I think there might be a pause, but
But
I don't see them
but I
stopping.
mean, but you could see how they can get away with it though, right? I mean, they've done away with every other. They've made it obsolete. And to be fair, like VHS, I feel like has made kind of a comeback and been like popular, but it's not. It's like a niche. It's
Well,
not
look,
like something.
well, look what had happened to the what's it called the CD-ROM, the big one.
Yeah,
Then now everybody just buying. They're like, how are you going to play it? Well, they don't want that to happen. With they learned. I'm learning too that happened with VHS. So I mean, somebody was about to burn up like 20,000 VHSs at a warehouse. I heard online, and then that somebody went and bought it because they just bought the warehouse with everything in it because they didn't want them to burn up all the DVDs. I mean the VHS. They said no, we keep them like that because once they're gone, they're gone. You know.
yeah,
And that's the only way you can do it if you take something physical. I mean, look, I mean, digital. It's everything can be manipulated. I mean, I'm literally making stuff as we're going on this show. When prior you couldn't do that. Everything had to be stitched in and what do you call it? Seamlessly made. Now I'm live editing. It's like I'm doing stage broadcasting live as we're doing. You know, like the way I work the tech, the booth. This is the same thing. I figured I opened that part of my brain, let it in the digital, and it makes sense to me now. Because with all that being said, I guess we're coming close to the end. But
Yeah.
I do want to say that I mean I did pay for the movies meal when I went to movies, but I did get to take a photo with Kevin Smith, and I got his signature not once but twice.
let's see it.
Oh, I have it in the room. I can't go in
Okay.
there right now, but I can show you something that I have done. I'll show you something on the way out. I do have a video that I just uploaded, and I'll share it with you. But let's just talk about the money real quick, and then we'll get into the ratings, and then we already know we're going on Norm Macdonald, so it doesn't matter
Yeah.
how we end it. Just so everyone knows, we're definitely doing Norm Macdonald next week. We're doing
This a special. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, definitely hitting up
We got
Norm Macdonald. So we're gonna say here on Wikipedia, Die Hard budget was 25 to 35 million. Box office was 139.8 to 141.5 million in return. So it made 110 million in profit on its return, according to Wikipedia. Where Dogma, let's see what Dogma did. Dogma cost 10 million and had a return of 44 million, which I still think is a great return, especially for such a controversial movie. It was released May 21st, 1999 at Cannes. So you're gonna probably hear somebody talking right now. Somebody is in my lap, and they've been telling me that they always like to say hi to you. He's getting early now, Ben. He's getting restless. He wants to see you. We're gonna wait out. We're gonna hold off a little bit, but he's been telling me he wants the podcast. That's kind of funny. So let's do the ratings for Die Hard. Let's see. All right. Die Hard, out of 820,000 views, it's got an 8.2 out of 10.
wow. Yep.
That's good. That's good.
Over here on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 94% tomato meter out of 79 reviews, a 94% audience scores out of 250,000 plus ratings.
This is a damn good movie. Yeah.
Yeah, critics' consensus and its many imitators and sequels have never come close to matching the taut thrills of the definitive holiday action classic. Yep.
Look at this. Look at this. You might also like, what do you call it? Terminator 2, Terminator 1, Speed, 12 Monkeys, and then that's awesome. Predator. It says, yeah, many imitators. Yeah, you're right. There's many imitators of this, but they can't. You getting down? No. Yeah, he wants to see you. Ben, you have a influence on my son now.
Hello.
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 No, now he wants. It's everyone
Hello.
listening. Your children will do what you do. So if you want to start podcasting, your child's gonna want a podcast. So and you want to start filmmaking, he wants to make film movies. So we'll see how this works. But we also have here Dogma on IMDb. That's hold on, Papa. Let's analytics. It got a 7.3 out of 10 with 212 reviews. 212,000 reviews.
Yep. So over here on Rotten Tomatoes, I have a 67% tomato meter score out of 127 reviews and an 85% audience score out of 250,000 plus ratings. Critics' consensus on this one is proactive and audacious. Dogma is an uneven but thoughtful religious satire that's both respectful and irreverent.
Right now, hold
Eh?
on. I mean, it looks like the audience got offended on this one. I mean, the tomato meter got offended on this one. And
Yeah,
the
just a
audience,
little bit.
And the audience were kind of like, meh, it wasn't as funny as I thought it was gonna be. But I thought it was super funny. I like the Dogma poster that they have here. It's got the
Yeah,
cigarette.
me too. With the cigarette, I hadn't seen that one before.
All right.
I've always seen the one that says "touched by an angel." That's funny. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. All right. Well, it's obvious what my score is.
Yeah.
Honestly, with both these movies, I give them 15s.
Yeah.
These are probably in my top 15 list. Yeah. So I mean, I've seen both these movies a lot. The last time I recently bought Die Hard, because it was just there. I threw it in there with a bunch of movies I bought at Goodwill, and the older gentleman that was checking me out, he goes, "Well, how many times have you seen this one?" And I go, "Not enough." And he goes, "Great answer."
Yeah.
Was that enough? You can watch Die Hard so many times. It's still a great movie. What's your score?
13 and 13.
13
Easy
13.
on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an easy one.
You should definitely see both these movies. Dogma, man, is just it's one of those that you need to watch. It's a good one. It's a really good one. And I think it was my introduction to Kevin Smith as well. So
all right, that's true. So as we're ending this episode, I'm going to show you two videos. One, I'm going to show one to show you like my simp card, and two, show you what the Indie Escape. I want to show what I ended up getting for us. So without further ado, this will show you. I'm just going to show a little clip of something that I got.
Hello. CJ, hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. How are you? Listen, 37.
See, it's mine. It's got a lot of advice. No, Papa, don't touch. What do you call it? I got me a cameo from Kev a couple months ago.
nice.
It's
Nice.
actually, I used it to motivate me for my filmmaking. It's a real direct. I'm not gonna share it, but it's very direct with people. But I did get one, and I mean, it's very direct towards me. I don't know if he's actually talking directly to me, but he's talking to the person like that he's met, like that's like me.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, and just kind of give him some great advice. But yeah, I got that, and I wanted to leave with this since we already know where we're going. Check out this Indie Escape clip that I got over this weekend, and yeah, I think you'll like it.
This is Jonathan Breck, and you're watching the Indie Escape.
What'd you think?
Got the creeper on
I
there.
got the creep, man.
That one I knew.
That he came. I mean, I asked him a question, dude. He gave me some great advice about creating a creature. I haven't recorded too. I haven't seen it yet. The Michael, the gentleman next to me in line, was like, "Hey, you want me to record this for you?" And this conversation, I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I think it's a law here. The guy behind you has to record." So what do you want to? What you can't play with this, Papa? Here, get this. And what do you call it? But yeah, I got the creep. I got the Jonathan Breck. You know what? I just wanted to say that we're moving on to. We're moving on to Norm Macdonald. I got a show coming up on Mondays as well. Ben will be making some appearances. Look out for it. It's Mind Manic Mondays. You'll see me on YouTube. I'll start posting a little bit more about that. But just want to kind of give a little shout out. But I'm gonna take off the screen. Ben, we are here.
Yeah.
We made it to the end.
Here we are.
Here he is. Look. You want to see him? You've been waiting to see him? Because he can't see you. He only sees what the screen sees. Let me get him more real quick. Look who it is, Papa.
Guys, hello.
Hey, Max.
Oh, he's drawing now. Now he's drawing on my script. Okay. All right. Well, we're done. So we're gonna. He's writing on my script, on my notes. But it's okay. I do it like every other thing. But yeah. So we are. That was Max. That's my son. Just a little bit. Just showing you a little bit because honestly, he's in my lap, and honestly. Ben, he likes listening to Ben, talking to him. They'll have a little conversation when we're done. So I think he thinks that's going to happen. But all right, everybody. Well, it's 2 hours and a half an hour. We're going to sign off. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
See you later.